Hey everyone, or whoever's, you know, here. Uh, well, I seem to have lost my Magic Online window, so that rules. Right, cool. This game is very good and definitely knows how to display itself well. See, it thinks it's maximized right now because this is the maximized level for my other screen, but it's not for this screen. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to show my taskbar on the other screen. I'm sorry, everyone. There we go. All right. So now, if I shrink Magic Online and go here and say, okay, please maximize. Will it? Nope. Still will not maximize on the right display, huh? What a good program. But I restore it, and now I don't even know where it is. It's a mystery. I can't find Magic Online on either monitor. It says it's somewhere, but where could it be? Maybe if I close it and reopen. Hold on. Yeah, don't close. Just show yourself. Nope, didn't work. No, come on, open on this monitor, please. Please, for the love of God. Oh, it's open. Why does this suck so bad? All right. Yeah, I guess wherever it is, it's just off the screen. There's got to be a way to fix this. Okay, hold on. Apparently, you can do like... No, that didn't do it. Hold on. You all are so patient with me, and I appreciate it. I'm not even... Okay, so... Even, like, doing... Okay, hold on. What about this? Say, move. Aha! There it is. There's the skipper. Wow, that's way too big. Okay, what we're gonna do... Nope, still way too big. Magic Online. I think what part of the problem is that this monitor is a lot of Ks, and Magic Online doesn't understand how to deal with that, how to make because like you're supposed to rescale your UI. Windows expects you to rescale your UI to some degree when you're on a larger monitor. Hey, Amanda. Sorry, I haven't actually been looking at chat until just now. So, um, yeah. Hello. Liz is not here. Actually, she's at her girlfriend's, who is also fully on quarantine. We are being very careful not to break the spirit of social distancing. But yeah, I can't just say hi to her. She's probably gonna go to sleep soon, or I'd have her tune into the stream. All right. We are vintage cubing because it's online for some reason. I don't understand it. Ikoria is still super fresh, and I would honestly love to play more of it, but I'm not going to, turn down Vintage Cube. Oh, right. You can't fucking maximize his owns. Magic the Gathering online. Okay. Well, I mean, listen. It's 11 o'clock p.m. on a Friday night. I'm home alone. I'm vintage cubing because I got nothing better in the world to do. And I'm not going to not first pick a time spiral. Like, come on. Come on. You can't expect me to not first pick a time spiral. I mean, you could. It's not the correct pick here, like, to be clear. The correct pick is probably, like... Wow, it's really the biggest they scale up. Geez, Magic Online really doesn't know how to handle a high-resolution display, huh? The correct pick here is probably, like, I don't know. Natural Order's pretty good. Upheaval's pretty good. Orzhov Signet's pretty good. What? No, don't take that. But we're taking the Time Spiral, and we're going to try to Force Storm, because we are not cowards. And cowards cannot block warriors. We're going to take the Tendrils of Agony. I don't really want this going around the table. I mean, yeah, there's a real argument to be made for Rakdos Signet, though. This card is very strong. And, honestly, more decks than Tendrils. Yeah, all right, we'll take the Rakdos Signet. Try to pretend that we're drafting responsibly to a small degree. You can play Time Spiral in non-Storm decks, technically, if you really want to. I don't, but you can. Ooh... I'm a rare person who loves drafting Storm and Cube and also loves drafting Mono Red. I draft Mono Red because I can't stand how little people respect it. Like, third pick Goblin Guide is, I mean, I guess it's fair, but like this is easily a first pick quality card. It's just very, very good. I mean, on the other hand, there's an Ancient Tomb. Goes really well with the Signet. Goes really well with Time Spiral. We're probably just going to take it here, but... yeah, if that Goblin Guide comes around again and we're not getting hooked up for Storm, we could pretty easily just pivot. Yeah, I'm literally maxing out these sliders here. Hey, Sanao. Welcome to Late Night Vintage Cube. Well, if we'd taken the Goblin Guide, I'd probably be taking Rekindling Phoenix here. Card's pretty good. Instead, I think we're going to take a Faithless Looting. It's not the best Storm card, but it is a Storm card. Can get you out of some tight spots. And honestly, like, if we were pretending to be responsible here, what would we even pick? Go for the Throat's okay, I guess. But whatever, that's boring. I don't want to be boring. I reluctantly admit that Wishclaw Talisman is pretty alright in Storm. Because you just play this on 2 most of the time, and don't activate it until the turn you're going off. And then that's pretty solid. Basalt Monolith also quite good for... the fast manas. Seaver Exarch is a win condition. I'm just going to take the Talisman, though. I like Baral, but I really like Seething Song. I like Baral more than, I don't know, some people seem to. Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, that's not what I'm doing right now tonight, but that is definitely a true statement. Well, this is the first pack we've really bricked on, I would say. What does this card actually do? What a boring card. I mean, what a... Kaya deserves better. This is such a milquetoast hoser. I mean, it's good, I guess, but really... I kind of like taking off-pick dual lands, but man, this one sucks so bad. There's really no white cards you want to play, and that's just one of the worst duels. So, I'll take a Young Pyro, I guess. I don't think this card is awesome in this deck, but it's like you can sort of assemble some hacked together wins. Yawgmoth's Bargain is not really great. We'll see if we wheel that Tendrils. If we don't, we might be in some degree of trouble. Could take a Metalworker here. This isn't the wildest thing. We've got 2 artifacts, and we're taking it over effectively nothing. Revoker's a decent disruption, but it's not really where you want to be. Sacred Foundry is better than the other land, but again, there's just not white you want to splat for. If we were taking this, it would be to get it off of a Mized Fetch land, which is not unreasonable. But, you know, go for the high upside. Reasonable. No, this was the pack with Tendrils, so we're fighting an uphill battle here. Next pack is the pack with Goblin Guide. So, like, okay, Goblin Guide also not here. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm, like, quietly building a white-red aggro deck in my sideboard here. As penance for my sins. Yeah. This did not go great. I will say that. We could pivot. It's not unreasonable to just pivot here, go for something white-red. Obviously, white is wide open. We'll definitely be able to assemble something resembling a deck. Adonto Vanguard, very good card. Archangel Avacyn, also very good. Oh, Gideon Blacklight. Yeah, you know, honestly, Tendrils didn't wheel. Nothing we have here is, like, great. These white cards are actually very strong. So we're probably just pivoting. Sorry to lead you on and then rip the rug out from under you, but strong card. Actually, I've been really impressed with Selfless Spirit, but we're going to take... Well, you know, we're not necessarily red. We've got Shieldbreaker, which is okay. Like, all of our red cards are fine. None of them are great. White was super open. So I'm going to, like, be open to the possibility of going mono white. Almost wish I took the Nykthos, actually, although I think I took a white card over it, so maybe that doesn't matter as much. Yeah, I mean, white is what I should be playing without a shadow of a doubt. It's just a question of, like, how much do I think I can get away with not playing? And there's a Yawgmoth's Will to just fucking taunt me. I'm not taking it. I don't want to fight with someone else for Storm. When there's a pretty good deck open, I'll just take my, you know, earn back my entry fee and draft again. Do better that time. White is not as open from the left. I mean, we can't tell. This is 2 picks in, and Restoration Angel and Sword are both totally reasonable mono white cards, but it was a little unfortunate. Wow, Smuggler's Copter is great. What a strong card. I'd love to pick up some 1-drops. I think people underrate 1 mana 2/1s in this deck. Not that people correctly rate anything about this deck, but I think one of the keys from a cube building perspective to making mono white viable is to have 1 mana 2/1s be good. It's a little bit awkward. Like, Parallax Wave is okay. If we want to be really heavy red, Eidolon is good. We did also pass up 2 red-white dual lands, so mea culpa. I probably could have had those pretty trivially. But instead I was an idiot. Could take Sword of Body and Mind. This is kind of a weird one, because obviously 2 hits with it is just pretty much lethal. But it's very weak to Eldrazi, and which are a real thing that people play in this format, and like it doesn't actually increase your aggro clock that much, So it's like, it's kind of all in relative to like Feast and Famine or whatever. Probably just going to take Parallax Wave here. I don't know. Maybe the sword was good. Maybe Light Up the Stage was good if we get like Plateau or something. But I really don't want to bet on that. I think we can assemble 23 white cards if we have to. I think there was an Armageddon pack one too. Oh, I wouldn't swear to that. No, that was last pack actually, I think. Listen, sometimes you make a shot and that shot misses. And unfortunately, although like a hacked together didn't quite get their Storm deck can be pretty fun, it can also be kind of demoralizing if you really don't get there, and it did not look like we were really getting there. Like of the cards we took, I think really Rakdos Signet, Time Spiral, and Ancient Tomb are the only ones that I'm actively excited about. I mean, Tundra is actually not the worst. There's some pretty decent blue cards to splash in this deck that go relatively late. I mean, like, we'd take a Luteral Core, for example, especially if we got Sword back. And, like, over not much, honestly. Like, is Geist of St. Traft in this deck, in this cube? I'm not sure. But it very plausibly, and that's great in this deck. Like, Containment Priest is, I mean, it's a reasonable hate bear. That is a thing you want to hate against in this format, but even at 11 cards, there's a pretty good chance it'll come back. Okay, there's the Armageddon. Pretty happily take this over Dual Land, I think. Stoneforge Mystic. Now I really wish I'd picked up and a Lion's Eye Diamond this late. Wow. I don't know what was going on. Like, I don't know what other Storm drafters are doing right now. Not picking Lion's Eye Diamond and Yawgmoth's bargain, I guess. Will. Worn Power Stone? What is going on here? I guess we'll take Tithe Taker. I think this card is pretty mediocre, but thank you. Glad to know it. All right, Wield an Oblivion Ring, which is, I think, the only other white card in this pack, so... World of Feast of Famine. Okay, wow, okay, what? So, I guess whoever took the tendrils, either they just hate drafted it, because they hate me, or they decided they were getting too cut off as well and gave up on Storm. Because this is, like, this Wield, this Yawgmoth's Will. I'm not going back into Storm. I'm not that buck wild, but... we might have been able to actually cobble together a deck in the end, hilariously. I mean, there are a lot of decks that you can technically cobble together if you have precognition of what's going to wheel and what isn't, right? I might actually play two swords in this deck. Normally, I don't super love playing two swords because they can kind of clog up your hand, but with a Stoneforge Mystic, that kind of... reduces the risk of it a bit, because you'll draw one for free, you can cast them for cheaper, that sort of thing. You can tutor for the one that has protection against the deck you're playing against, which all really makes the swords, stronger. All right, we really just want playables to fill out our deck. We've got the Armageddon, we've got pretty decent curve. We got the Adonto Vanguard, which I think is probably the strongest card. The strongest white card in this deck. Smuggler's Copter might be stronger. Just disrespectful. Just outright disrespectful. I'm so disappointed in whoever else is at this table. All right, we'll take a Mox. We won't not take a Mox. Yeah, hope to wheel Gideon or Relic Order here. Really, whatever. I want to turn one a Smuggler's Copter. Or Stoneforge Mystic. Ooh, this is not great. I guess this cube still doesn't have Ikoria stuff in, which is kind of weird. Like, I know the modern cube they ran didn't, because that was before Ikoria came out. I guess, or like one of the cubes they ran, I guess it was the vintage cube they ran before the modern cube, didn't have Theros cards in it, and now this one has Theros cards but not Ikoria cards, I guess. I did play against this in the modern cube, and it was brutal. Convinced me to put it in my cube. We're just going to take Stone Coil Serpent here, because it's just good at every point in the curve, except for 1. Not great at 2, but you know what I mean. I don't think Linvala is awesome. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, they put Vintage Cube up in the, like, week 2 of Ikoria, which is buck wild, but, and Condemn is just not good in an aggro deck. And I'm drafting your deck, Michelle. Brain freeze. We started out, we drafted like Storm for the first half of pack 1, maybe a little bit more than half if we're being honest. And when a Tendrils didn't whale, and White was like wildly open, we bailed. And then pack 2, we just like, we saw a Yawgmoth's Will and a Lion's Eye Diamond go around the table, and it was incredibly demoralizing. Anyway, yeah, Balance is a broken card, so I'm going to take it. Unmulligans you, and so on. When it's bad, you just don't play it. Easy peasy. All right, I do like Honor of the Pure a lot. Like it more than Light and Shadow, which may well wheel. Light and Shadow's the worst sword in a vacuum, and we're the one who has Stoneforge, so no one is like taking it just to make their Stoneforge work. I guess we'll take Chrome Mox here. Chrome Mox is good with Balance, so we'll probably play it. Generally, I like Chrome Mox a little bit more in decks that can regain card advantage, but again, Balance is a way to do that, let's say. Chrome Mox is good with Balance because it makes your hand smaller, which means that they have to discard more to balance. And because it's an artifact, and Balance ignores artifact, so you basically get a free card off of them. 2, kind of. Just like turn 1, Mox land Balance. And they have to discard a bunch. Probably taking Legion's Landing over Hangar Backwalker here. A 1-drop is nice to have for like Smuggler's Copter, for the swords, just like cheap stuff to put stuff on. I don't think this card is great, but you know, it can get you an extra land to hit your Sun Titan or whatever. Ooh, Thalia is a good one. I think Thalia and yeah, I don't know, Michelle. We have a lot of 2-drops. I sort of think of Walker mostly as a 2-drop. We have no 1-drops yet, so I could be wrong. You're more the expert than I am. I'm going to take Tangle Wire, I think. I really don't like these 5-mana angels. Well, I could take Elspeth. We're pretty aggressive to be playing an Elspeth, but like one of the things that makes a white aggro deck tick is the ability to sort of do stuff after the initial, do somewhat more powerful stuff after the initial go. I have no idea, so now I'm not sure if anyone's come out and said exactly, all right, wield the Relic Order, wheel everything. That is disrespectful for Uro. That card's very good. I doubt anyone has come out and just said it. My guess is that, like, it's already a fiendishly complicated template originally, and my guess is they, like, couldn't fit the words, or something like that. Anyway, I was saying earlier, I think one of the important things to make white good in Cube is to have, like, some amount of limitation on how many random hosers of 1 toughness creatures you have. Because a lot of what makes white good is like it has a bunch of 2/1s. We didn't really get any, but it has a bunch of 2/1s for 1. It has like a Danto Vanguard, which is effectively a 3/1. It has Thalia as a 2/1. The one that makes their creatures enter tapped is a 2/1. Stuff like that. And so having stuff like, I don't know, Forked Bolt or Walking Ballista, for example, that just really absolutely destroys those cards, really puts a damper on how strong white can be, because you can just sideboard in or just have main deck cards that absolutely wreck its early starts. And it needs those early starts, because that's sort of what aggro does. So like that's why I don't have Walking Ballista in my cube. Well, I think it's kind of a mistake to include it here. Because like, you know, if this deck plays against Walking Ballista, I'm just very, very sad. We need one cut here. It's probably a 6-drop, which means it's probably Sun Titan, because Elspeth's a lot stronger than Sun Titan. I don't think we can play... Oh, and that's... Yeah, I guess Chrome Mox does count as a land because it exiles a spell, but I don't think we can play 16 mana sources here with 2 6-drops anyway, so... We could play Ancient Tomb. Is that good? It's good with, like, Smuggler's Copter, it's good with Swords, it's good with Stonecoil Serpent and Ravages of War and Restoration Angel. And yeah, it's probably good with enough stuff that it's worth playing. Can side it out against... Oh yeah, Tundra's terrible, thank you. Just forgot I had that in there. Alright, let's slam. This is somewhat less sweet than what we thought we were drafting, but you know what? It'll win us games. Hopefully. Traditionally, Mono White has been pretty decent in the Vintage Cube, even though it has stuff like Walking Ballista, largely because it just punishes so hard decks that want to do bullshit nonsense, like the deck we were trying to draft. People just don't respect creature removal in this cube. Don't really believe that this is a thing they can realistically defeat, so... Or that they will realistically play against is maybe a better way to put it. Alright, this is a pretty good hand. Tithe Taker is not the best, but you know what? It can crew a Smuggler's Copter. Right, not playing Arena. I am not playing Arena. This is going to get worse and worse for me now that Arena has people drafts. I'm just never, ever going to be able to remember the Magic Online anything. It's like I didn't play Arena for, what, 6 months? I'm not sure I did a single Eldraine draft on Arena. I got so burnt out on the... Ooh, that's a nice one. I don't think we're playing it now, though. We can also Restoration Angel Stoneforge Mystic to find our second sword, which is kind of funny. I got so burnt out on bot drafts with, like, M20. Yeah, so now it's a lot of stuff like that. Some of it is, like... limiting the number of 1/3s, for example. Like I took out Seagate Oracle from my cube a while before most cube designers did, because it's just such an effective barrier to the sorts of things that, you know, these decks want to do. Ooh, Parallax Wave is not terrible here. I'd love to find a sword. I guess Body and Mind is better against their colors notionally. Yeah, I guess I'll get that. It's a little bit less bad for me if they destroy it randomly too. We should have taken the Lightning Greaves and put it in here, so we can get it with Stoneforge Mystic and discard it to Smuggler's Copter. That's Galaxy Brain thinking. very plausible that opponent has a artifact removal spell here. Well, that's annoying. That's just rude. Sort of wish we'd wield that Sword of Light and Shadow now. It is the worst sword, but sometimes it does have relevant protections. That's the flavor text on every sword, is sometimes it does have relevant protections. We're just going to exile that Lyra for a few turns. Just going to go on timeout. It is unfortunate that we won't be able to play the sword here, but we wouldn't be able to get through with it anyway, so... stupid keyboard's batteries flew out, so I have to manually click OK like some sort of Neanderthal from the days before keyboards. I am playing this Plains, even though it would be nice to have stuff to discard to the Copter, because I do have 5 and 6 drops in this deck, so. It's a pretty good one. Although, it's definitely worse if you're not, like, actively drawing a bunch of cards. Also, look how good Smuggler's Copter is. I've just dealt 9 damage to them, just with my 2-drop. Okay. It's probably bouncing Copter, I guess. I mean, it's gotta be, right? Nope. Okay. That's weird. That's a strange one. Are they planning to path my Copter? They do have the extra mana to pay for Tithe Taker, I guess. Elia's not a terrible one either, although a little bit late. Well, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. The best I can figure here is that they're trying to remove the Copter, which kind of makes me want to play... Well, I get... Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense for them to do this to keep Teferi alive. So it kind of makes me want to just play a little defensively and keep up Restoration Angel here while we attack. I'm still going to be attacking them. Well, it would be 1 mana because they can't cast things that cost 2 during my turn right now. I mean, I guess it's probably worth it to just gonk Teferi here. Ooh, well, okay. What am I Oblivion ringing? So I could O-ring their Teferi. That seems pretty mediocre. I could O-ring their Fairgrounds Warden, but like I kind of want to just O-ring the what's it called, Lyra under the Parallax Wave once she comes back. I think that might be like the safer play. Although that means I'm not using all my mana this turn, which makes me uncomfortable. But I don't really have any other answer to Lyra, so that's fine. I guess I could have just made a sword and equipped there, but I really want it on the Copter, so it doesn't help as much. Oh yeah, I guess they cannot, or we cannot. So that whole sequence was terrible. It was just really, really bad and dumb of me. Well, now I guess we figured out what we are Oblivion ringing. And I guess we're sorting them in the face, even though it does activate their Sheldock Isle, which is moderately unfortunate. Can't even resto end of turn. Oh, Planeswalker statics. What a thing you have done to the game. Ancestral Vision, huh? Okay. End of turn. I will make a sword. The funny thing is they're dead in 2 copter sword hits anyway, which means Feast and Famine would have been a lot better here. But that's okay. So let's crew up. The thing is, do I even want to Oblivion Ring Elspeth here? Like, is she actually doing anything relevant? Like, her -3 does nothing to me. Her +1 is essentially irrelevant. I think I actually just save the O-ring here for a potential other target, which also means I think I just eagerly resto the Stoneforge Mystic. Get that second sword. And next turn we can make a sword, equip, which would be pretty fun. It means both of our flyers are lethal. I would love to use Stoneforge Mystic's ability. Thank you. I would actively have chosen not to mill them if I had the option. Because I really don't. I'm afraid of what's under here. They have, you know, access to 3 cards here. I guess 4 if they are willing to kill their Teferi, which they might. Unfortunately, we don't really have, like, anything. Like, if they try to kill Parallax Wave somehow, I guess they don't bounce it. But we don't really have anything valuable on our side of the board to exile. Oh, you know what? Actually, oh man, I punted really bad. What I was supposed to do last turn is I was supposed to Parallax Wave, exile Fairgrounds Warden, bring back Silverblade Paladin, and give my flyer double strike and just win. But I didn't. And that's okay. Sometimes we make mistakes. We have to be able to forgive ourselves for that, I think. Yeah, it would have been really cool if we'd done it. Oh dear. So I don't know exactly what they've got up their sleeve, but I do know that I can equip a bunch of swords to a bunch of helicopters and, well, a bunch of flyers, and probably win that way. I'm going to put the worse sword, which here is Feast and Famine, because they're at 13 cards in library, on what is probably the better flyer, Restoration Angel, because it can attack without needing other creatures on the board, in case they kill the flyer with the better sword on it. All right, well, let's see what you got. They could, I guess, have... what is it? The one that Path to Exiles all attacking creatures here. That would be unfortunate. Could also just Shelldock Isle something. Not sure what it is that gets past Parallax Wave here, but... And Fading is the one where if you can't remove a Fade counter, you sacrifice it, which is hilarious. I guess the Parallax enchantments wouldn't really work otherwise. Wow, okay. So they gave themselves the opportunity to cast a spell and then conceded. That's funny. It's funny, Linvala is from one of the sets where they really worked hard not to say the word planeswalker on cards, even cards that explicitly nerfed planeswalkers. And she looks like she should be one of those cards, but she is not. She just is not. I don't think we saw any cards that are relevant for her. I don't think we have any reason to believe Sun Titan is better than Elspeth here, so I think we just ship it back. Flyers. Flying. Powerful mechanic. No one's ever said, oh, creatures with flying. Those aren't very good. I don't know. Someone has maybe, but not me. Sorry for the weird rumbling and clicking. I'm adjusting my mic settings since I'm the only one in the room, uncharacteristically. So I think, yeah, now it's on like mono, so it won't, when I move back and forth, it won't sound weird. Indeed I have, Sarah. Indeed I have. This 5 mana source hand is in fact a keeper because there are about 60% of games where a Danto Vanguard equipped with Sword of Body and Mind is just enough to win. Playing out that Mox Pearl very early. Wonder if they have Path to Exile. Path to Exile would be good against me right here. Maybe they have Mana Tithe. That would also be good against me. Arguably be better. But apparently they have neither of those things. So instead, I just get to start slamming. Just play nothing. Oh my. Okay. Oh, they mulliganed pretty low, I guess, because they had 3 cards in hand before they cast that Ancestral. Ooh. A Relic Warder, huh? Well, I don't hate that. I'm a little bit worried that they're holding up Mana Leak or something of that description here, so I'm probably just going to play the Relic Warder, even though it's much lower value play in general, but it keeps them off the land, which is pretty good here. It does get more power on the board. Mulligan to 5, yeah. I'm really bad at noticing how low my opponent mulligans. It's kind of a virtual mulligan to 7, though, because of this fucking card. This card's very good. So they're playing a second one in a few turns, too, so, you know. Well, that's a bit awkward. And we don't quite have enough mana to play and equip the sword here. I think that's just not very nice. Okay. I mean, very reasonable chance that by the time this Ancestral Vision goes off, it won't matter, but they could just Wrath me here. That would suck. I don't think it's likely that they have a Wrath. I guess Adanto Vanguard survives too, so maybe it wouldn't suck that much. They tap out to Wrath, and then I attack them back for 5 damage with the Sword of Body and Mind. I guess that would be okay. Or they could do nothing. I admit I find this somewhat unsettling. Especially given that I'm drawing a lot of lands here. But, you know, they certainly did a lot of Sound and Fury signifying nothing last game. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. We are replaying the Relic Warder here, I think, pretty clearly. I mean, it's not nothing that we get to rebuy this on a better target. Also, like, as uses of Mana Confluence go, triple bounce is pretty mediocre. But it does mean that they get to resolve this Ancestral Vision with a lot more room to play with it. So that's too bad. Are they just doing nothing here? Are they just doing stuff on their second main for some reason? I think it's the latter of those two, unfortunately for me. They could have this one. The early Adanto Vanguard start didn't do quite as much as I'd hoped. I mean, I guess one of the benefits of Mystic Confluence is that you get to do that mode sometimes. Although, well, yeah, given that I had the sword, I guess they couldn't really afford to not bounce even the 1/1 here. Teferi. Probably bouncing? Okay. They figured it out this time. They cottoned on. I do really need to draw action here, though. Action Jackson, as they say. I think that's what they say. I have to discard, which I guess is good for me. Ravages of War. Almost excellent here. I mean, do I just Ravages here? Like, they tick up their Teferi. I play Adanto Vanguard next turn. Yeah, I think I do. I think this is my best shot of winning. I don't know if I'm gonna win, but I feel like I have the board presence here. I have the cheap creatures. Ooh, that's not great. After a Ravages of War, that is unfortunate. That's also not great here for me. For Natalie? For old Natsby? Alright, well, we're slamming. They cannot take that many attacks of this, so... we'll just see what happens, I guess. This is a good example of cards that are reasonable reasons to play blue-white in a more aggressive deck. Although this is not. I guess they're really just not that aggressive. They do have the Mana Leak, huh? I guess they're really kind of a control deck. Which makes this Hero of Bladehold a lot less impressive, to be honest. But we could still die. We could also just win off this Mana Crypt, though, so... you know. We are not blocking unless they stack Battlecry wrong. Which would be pretty funny. They did stack Battlecry wrong. That's pretty funny. When I play this card in person, I just say attack with Hero of Bladehold, stack it correctly. Because there's no ambiguity. Oh, that's a bad one for our hero. I mean... probably not, unless you are a green-blue-red deck with very good mana. I don't think any of the ultimatums are, like, really quite powerful enough to warrant, like, just straight up playing the, like double splashing a color to play them. Yeah, it's great if you can cast it. I mean, I've definitely played decks in Ikoria drafts that can pretty easily cast ultimatums. It's just like, I don't think you play like 7 red sources in your deck just randomly to be able to consistently hit it, or even 4. Yeah, I just don't think that one's great. I don't think the Sultai ultimatum is particularly great. I mean, it's good, again, if you can cast it, but yeah, that's fair. Oh, they are at 2 from their Mana Crypt, by the way. Oh, they have this Lyra, which means that they won't be for long. Wow, attacking with Hero. That's pretty bold. I will double block that, for sure. They will get their Power Stone back, but that's okay. They still stacked it wrong. If you can hear that music, I swear it's not mine. It is the neighbors. Elspeth's for days. This was the fucking worst Armageddon I've ever done. I mean, that's not even true. It's just like I had 1,000 lands and could only somewhat capitalize on it. But the Armageddon into Mana Crypt is pretty... What a great draw. Well, we can effectively force them to let Elspeth die. Not for nothing. Then we kind of die on the crackback, I guess, because we have to go to 6 here. Yeah, we're just dead. Oh, it was an alright game. Yeah, losing to a badly stacked Hero of Bladehold is demoralizing, to say the least. Actually, I kind of like a Myria Angel here. Flyers seem like they're very good against these people. Do I like Legion's Landing? I'm not sure I do. Cards, like they can pretty easily muster up blockers and or just keep us off 3 creatures. Oh man, this is a very controlling hand against a deck that's better at that, so I think we have to mulligan it. I will keep this, but I won't be thrilled about it. This is not a great sword for this hand either. Maybe I'm supposed to go to 6 or go to 5, but it doesn't seem awesome. Either we draw lands here or we draw cheap spells, probably. I mean, if we draw like, you know, Elspeth, yeah, there we go. If we'd drawn like Elspeth and Avacyn, we would have gotten what we deserved. Also, to be fair, in the last game, our opponent did resolve 2 Ancestral Recalls against us, so, like, what you gonna do? Hilariously, Restoration Angel cannot flicker a Myria Angel. Okay. Well, bouncing the sword there was pretty aggressive. Like, I do not have anything I can equip that to. My deck is unlikely to have anything with haste. So, I guess do what you gotta do. I might be losing to this blue-white deck. I mean, it's a good blue-white deck, so not that upsetting. But I would prefer to win, personally. Ooh, that's a strong one. Jesus. I've actually never seen this card resolve, so... All right. Well... Shit. Yeah, it's weird. I've put this... This has been in my cube since it got previewed. And we have done a number of cube drafts with it, and it's just I still have never seen it resolve. I'm sure someone's done it, and I was just not paying attention, like playing my own game or something. But oh, this is Smuggler's Copter is actually nice here because it means we can play our non-creature spells before Elspeth's last whatever gets active. And now we can play Restoration Angel next turn and crew the Copter and swing with Sword equipped. Assuming they do nothing, which is the opposite of what a safe assumption is. But we also do have to play a land to do that, which means we have less fuel for sword. Although I guess if we draw a non-land, chances are pretty good it is a cheaper creature that we can do the same plan with for less mana. So Karn, huh? Boy howdy, they got a lot of plainsy walksies. I can't really... Well, okay, you get the Celestial Colonnade. Oh boy. Gross. I can't really attack either of their Planeswalkers with this Copter either because I don't want them to just bring it back with Elspeth Conqueror's Death. If they'd been clever, I feel like they would have... tried to engineer it so that they could, -3 to ferry the turn before this goes off, so they get back a full price or a full loyalty to ferry. But I guess clever is not necessarily what they've been this draft. Having good cards is a thing they've been for sure, though. Which, I guess means they were clever during the draft portion. So next turn, I suppose... I guess they're discarding Colonnade here, probably. Another Pier is not the worst. I suppose they're probably bouncing Copter, I guess. Getting back Karn with... This is expensive because of Elspeth. Getting back Karn... or Ancestral with Karn, drawing 1 million cards, having up 1 million counter spells, whatever. I gotta say, that was not the most impressive Elspeth Conqueror's Death I've seen. And it was still pretty good. Still just 5 mana kill Emeria Angel there did go a long way towards winning them the game. Wow, they did the thing I thought they'd do. And they did discard Celestial Colonnade, so I don't know what's in their hand. This Monastery Mentor will definitely kill me eventually if I don't kill them first. I mean, they do have to get rid of both of my flyers, sort of. They can't just let me attack. But all they need to draw is the bounce 3 things spell or whatever, and they got it, so. And it looks, I mean, if they pass here, I think it's safe to assume that that's what they drew. Hello. Also, their Shelldock Isle is active, so just for the extra rubbins. Oh, they haven't activated Teferi yet, either. I wonder if they remember that. If this is a non-creature spell, post-combat after attacking with Monastery Mentor. Yep, that's funny. They don't have a great Teferi bounce here. Although, I think it's plausible that they just kill me with Monk next turn after all this. And they did tap out of, what's it called? 3 you do 1 million very strong things. Split card, unsummon, mana leak. Okay, that's fine. That saves them 1 point of damage and makes me spend some more mana, which is, reasonable. Alright. Okay. That's a nice backup if I don't draw something better with Smuggler's Copter. And it'll, chump a Monastery Mentor. Uh-oh. Is that where it went? That would be pretty sick. Cryptic Command. Christ alive. They've got it all. Well, that's very strong. I guess I'll replay the Copter. Maybe I was supposed to replay Tithe Taker there. I guess Tithe Taker blocks Mentor, but Copter has a very good shot of just dealing them 5 damage next turn, which means that if I mean, obviously a lot of things have to go right in order for that to happen, and then they also have to take 3 damage off of Mana Crypt, but I think that is more likely to win me the game than blocking with Tithe Taker and dealing 4 damage off the token, Leaving up so much mana here. I'm upset. I mean, obviously I'm quite dead, but I I don't know what they're thinking about here. If they have Mystic Confluence, that's the card whose name I keep forgetting. If they have Mystic Confluence, they are definitely not supposed to cast it here. Well, all right. They're paving the way for us to win this game. Casting Mystic Confluence here is much worse for them if we don't have another creature in hand. Or if we do have another creature in hand, which, as it turns out, we do. I mean, I guess if they have a removal spell as backup too, it doesn't matter as much. But, like, one of the ways we win is by attacking for 5 and then... I can't imagine that they don't have anything here. I just can't imagine it. But I guess they haven't been playing stellarly, so it's possible. Wow, okay, so we are a coin flip away from winning this game. I feel like the way our luck's been going, we aren't gonna, but you never know. Right? What is this? They have a thing? What could possibly be relevant at this juncture? Oh. Yeah, that does it. We're dead. I'm not even going to wait and see if they win the flip or not. Too demoralizing. Oh, man. All right. Well, they won that game fair and square. That was, in fact, extremely fair matching. They mulled 5, we mulled 5. They had 2 Ancestrals. When they mulled 5, we had 0 Ancestrals when we mulled 5. You know, fair magic. I guess we mulled 6, but it was a really bad 6. Maybe we should have mulled 5. I don't know if you were on the stream I was talking about this last, Michelle, but I've been kind of lamenting the fact that, like, with all of these wild Busto blue cards they're printing in Standard lately, it feels like the era of my cube, like the modern cube being the cube where blue is not obviously the best color, is just coming to an end, and I feel a little sad about that. But at the same time, I'm not going to put these cards in it, right? This hand would be very good if any of the 4, 5, or 6 drops were instead a 2 or a 3 drop. Ideally a 2 drop. I think we can do better. This is better. It's actually fairly substantially better. I'm going to bottom the Serpent because it's not really great until 3 anyway, and I already have 2 3s. It's really not great until 5 or whatever, but yeah, that's fine. You can see what I'm working with. Land isn't great. Maybe we should be playing 16 lands. If we had more stuff in the sideboard, I would consider playing 16 lands and no Elspeth, but we don't. We pivoted into mono white at the very end of pack 1, so we don't. So they're holding up a counterspell for Gideon here, right? Basically, undoubtedly. Yeah, exactly. When you put it that way, it sounds especially egregious. Since they're, well, are they holding up a counterspell? They can't pay double blue here. But they could definitely pay single blue. I'm just going to play a Thalia. I think Thalia will fuck with them plenty. And if they want to counter her, which it looks like they are, it's less of a skin off my nose than if they counter Gideon. And it also interferes with their ability to counter things in future turns, so there you go. Yeah, they just can't play cancel variants. Well, I guess now they can. I mean, do we care? Like, do we even bother doing anything here? We're winning on the board. We have some amount of Wrath protection. I think we just keep slamming. The absence of any information about what the hell they're doing. What is this? I don't like this. Oh, never mind. I do like that. That's fine. They can pay 6 mana to gush. Good old 6 mana divination. Upheaval, sadly, is a sorcery. Which is funny, because it would be so much worse if you cast it at instant speed. Like, you could just make it an instant and it wouldn't even matter, because it would be terrible. But what is this now? Are they just playing the, yeah, okay. That's decent. I guess they are blocking. I mean, I guess they have to block Thalia here. I could stop that, but I could also let that happen because it lets me drop. Like, one of these creatures is dying here, right? No, Thalia is just so valuable against them. Unfortunately, I guess I could only play one of these anyway, because I've only made... I've already made my land drop this turn. Yeah, I can't just play this. I have to O-ring their guy first. Which is fine. I wonder if they do even have a counterspell there, or if I've just been holding on to this Gideon for no reason but cowardice. They probably do, right? I'm going to assume they do. I have been assuming that they do. My favorite thing about Magic Online is how it has these little like pop-ups in the corner of your screen where it will, you know, tell you, oh, your draft is ready and whatever, but they never just go away on their own. So like I just cleared out 3 on my other screen and it was like, don't forget this league will be ending soon because it's only a week-long league. And then it was like, you submitted your deck. Good job. Okay, great. Thank you. Very relevant to me right now at this time in my life. At this point, maybe I should just play Gideon to bait out the counterspell. Like, I have enough mana here that it's reasonable to think that... Okay, they're just tapping down anyway. Oof, Sensei's Divining Top. This Thalia has been truly brutal for them. I was right to save it. They just spent, what, 3 extra mana this turn? Tapped down below what they could spend on a counterspell here just because of Thalia. I guess I'll give this lifelink because I don't really have anything else to do with it. I probably stop playing lands here because I can play Ancient Tomb and immediately cast Elspeth anyway, even through Thalia. And, oh my god, yes, sure, whatever. And I do have an Armageddon in the deck, which doesn't look great against all these signets, but for all that we have done anything and they have done nothing, I don't think we're winning this game. I would like to be much further ahead against the mono blue deck at this point, before they play something like an Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, for a cool 9 mana. That +2s to, or that, I guess. That's pretty good. Yeah, all right. Can't fault you for that play. Oh man, so I can play Revelark and they plus Ugin to kill it, and I get my Selfless Spirit back. Yeah, this is why I wasn't feeling great about our position, and I was vindicated. Maybe mono white isn't good in this cube, or maybe this isn't a good mono white deck. Hard to say. Probably a combination of both. If only we'd stuck to our guns and drafted Storm. I'm not even sure it would have been a great Storm deck. Like, we saw 2 important cards, but we didn't see a lot of the, like, medium glue that holds that deck together. Especially, like, fixing lands were kind of few and far between in that draft. So, and, like, you know, we were looking at being 3 colors. Could have been pretty awkward. Leonin Relic Order, huh? Wait, did they not kill this? Oh, no, I guess that was last turn. Vendilion Clique. Sure, I'm just going to concede. They have iron control over that game at that point. I don't really like Ravages of War against the Triple Signet deck, if I'm being honest. I would rather have the Emeria Angel. This, again, doesn't affect Signets. It is unclear to me why this is in the cube. I guess it hoses green creatures, which doesn't seem like a great reason to me, personally, but what do I know? I'm just a cube designer of many years' experience. We're probably just playing the Stonecoil Serpent for 3 mana on turn 2 with this Ancient Tomb. Yeah, but, like, I mean, I guess aesthetically that's kind of a reason, but it's not a gameplay reason. You want the cube to be fun to play, right? You want it to be an enjoyable experience. You want every card to contribute to that experience somehow. It's not like a booster release where you just put in a neat card because hopefully Timmy will find, or Johnny will find something to do with it, right? I don't know. Paul Cheon, you have much to answer for. At some point, this Revelark is getting back the Stonecoil Serpent, which will immediately die. I know Paul Cheon does not maintain this cube anymore, so. Thalia was an excellent draw here, by the way. A turn 2 Thalia, I think, has a very good chance of essentially single-handedly defeating their deck. We can even play Gideon Blackblade next turn with this Ancient Tomb. What? That's not a non-creature spell. Parallax Wave is good against Sting in the Ice, though. I like this more than Stonecoil Serpent because it is also a 4/4, and it makes my Thalia gain back the life I spent on it, so neat. Let's gain 3 life. Let's go to 22. We're gonna win this game because you can't cast non-creature spells. I guess while you can, in fact, cast Thing of the Ice on turn 2 against Thalia, you can't really get the counters off all that easily. You know, I have just never been very impressed with this card. It looks like it should be sweet in like the, non-creature spells matter deck, but I can probably count the number of times I've seen it actually flip on one hand. And yes, some of that's because it sort of demands an answer at some point, but a lot of it is also because just not like great. Yeah, exactly. It's very high variance. And like when it's not great, it's just a defender, which sort of on the same line of not nerfing X1s in my cube, I kind of try to avoid playing a bunch of like random defenders. Like, I don't have Wall of Blossoms in there, even though it's in Modern now. Because they kind of... I took out Wall of Roots as well. Because those defenders kind of just serve to just slow down decks like this, right? Like, if you want to put a card like Thalia in your cube or a card like Legion's Landing, you gotta build your cube so that these decks win sometimes, right? Or else it's just a trap. You're just mocking your players. I like the 6/6 Stonecoil Serpent, by the way. And part of doing that is making sure that there is an opening. Like if you're playing this mono blue hyper control deck, that there has to be an opening for like the go low, go wide white deck to get in there and snag wins. Obviously, I did just do that, even though they played a Thing in the Ice. But cards like Thing in the Ice make it incrementally more difficult for decks like this to do that. I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but I would rather have cards that the other deck sort of has to go out of their way to get and to prioritize in order to be able to stand up against these decks, rather than just make it sort of the default if you're playing cards that you kind of already want to play. So, like, for example, in my cube, I have, what's it called? The 1/1 Mirror that shocks something when it dies. That's been in my cube for a million years, inspired by Justin Treadway. He was my cube mentor for a while. And it's Perilous. Thank you, Perilous Mirror. And Perilous Mirror is sweet because, like, a lot of decks don't super want it, but if you need that early creature defense, it's very, very good at it. So you can sort of draft it as a sideboard card against the aggro decks if you're a more controlling deck. This is fine. It's not great, but it's all right. Get some defense in there, but you have to go out of your way and take Perilous Mirror over other cards that you might actually want in your deck. You have to make the rest of your deck a little bit weaker for that. And that's not a way that this cube is built. All right, so we have a 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's pretty good. I mean, Restoration Angel isn't really doing anything right now. Blinking Stonecoil Serpent is not the best thing I've ever seen. We might, given this, we might just skip Stonecoil on 3. It's not really doing anything against Thing in the Ice, so we don't have any other ground creatures to like attack around it. Probably better to just play it on 17 eventually, or whatever. Force them to hold their mana up. Oh, they have a Vendilion Click? Sure. Although they were stopped on my upkeep, not my draw, so that's a little confusing. If they pass with a bunch of mana up again, I'm probably just playing Restoration Angel at the end of their turn rather than rawing out Emeria Angel. Even though it means we will miss some landfall triggers. Just can't rely on this ever-resolving Caracas, huh? Sorry, Avacyn, you are potentially out of this game. Okay, that's not great against me. I guess a 2/2 flyer persist is fine here, though. I mean, Avacyn is still 5 mana, give all my creatures indestructible. So I guess that's not nothing. And it does make them tap the Karakas. Given that they're tapped out now, we are playing Emeria Angel. Even though, granted, we could just resolve the Smuggler's Copter. I think Emeria is enough stronger that it's worth doing this. Yeah, that's fine. Now, that doesn't block angel tokens. So, bird tokens. Bird tokens, yeah. Lady just really likes Emrakul for some reason. Okay. Sure. Keeping that mana up, I see. We could also, like, potentially play Avacyn at the end of their turn just to, oh, they tapped for Gitaxian Probe, huh? That's bold. I guess they know everything we're doing now, so we're not going to take them by any kind of surprise. All right, well, we have a window of opportunity to land some stuff. Probably always yield, always yes. Probably Smuggler's Copter here. This thing in the ice is actively becoming dangerous now. So maybe it's better to just hold up Restoration Angel. Wait, does this bounce? Yeah, okay, it bounces only creatures, so I think getting the Smopter out there is pretty good regardless. Hello? My keyboard run out of batteries or something? I don't know. I put the thing back in, so I'm not sure what's going on. Once again, we have not dealt nearly enough damage to them early enough for me to be confident in this game. I guess they probably sided in the Karakas just to deal with Thalia, which is pretty funny, but I think probably justified given how incredibly badly she fucks over their deck. What are they thinking about? Emeria Angel has flying. They can't block here. They have no mana. What exactly is the deal right now? Also, why did they attack with Glenelendra? I guess they weren't planning on jumping, which makes some amount of sense. So how are your days going? Do you have a good week? I took Wednesday off to hang out with Liz, and that was really nice. And then tonight, Krista and I had some, like, one-on-one Dark Souls time, which was very fun. I've been engaging a little bit less intensely with the tenant organizing lately, which is good for my overall sanity levels, I think. While that is an extremely important thing to do. Yeah, I guess my keyboard is just not really functioning right now. Well, I think it is a very important thing to do. I can't devote all of my time and energy to it all of the time. The space around the battery feels very hot too, so I hope it's not like burning itself out or something. I'm gonna take these batteries out for a bit. Oof, they are toasty. Hope I didn't fuck something up somehow. Maybe I should replace these. Oh boy, I think they're flipping a thing in the ice. That's not the sort of thing I want them to do. It's not very nice, if you know what I mean. Because the card's name is Thing in the Ice. Yeah, they're really getting to do basically whatever they want to. One more land, they can Ugin. Almost certainly cannot beat an Ugin, even with the Stonecoil Serpent, which is sort of immune. Just by virtue of being colorless. I'm assuming that their plan here is to flip Thing in the Ice when I go to attack, so I'm probably not going to crew Smuggler's Copter this coming turn. Thank you for that pity laugh, Michelle. I always appreciate pity. Oh, I was not supposed to play a land there, but... Nothing? Are they trying to trick me into thinking they don't have a spell? Because they have 3 cards in hand. They are playing a spells deck. Like, Torrential Gearhulk, huh? Yeah, and so this is a spell. Yup, and it bounces their Gearhulk hilariously. Oh no! My recommendation as an expert knitter in my own right, as you know, is to use the right size of needle, actually. Umezawa's Jite? Wow, they were scared of my deck. They can't possibly have this in the main board. Is this Ugin? If this is Ugin, I scoop. Okay. This game match draft is not going great. But unlike Arena, Magic Online does have some amount of consolation prize. Like, I mean, half a draft of consolation prize in the losers bracket, so I will play it out. It's there is some amount of grace in the fact that Arena gives you nothing if you want to. Just get to drop with dignity after going 0-2. Some amount of dignity. You can't drop with that much dignity after you go 0-2. I bet we could have pulled at least one of those matches out, too, if we'd stuck to our guns and played Storm. Honestly, like, part of the problem here is that we just don't have that much of a density of cheap, powerful creatures. Like, we have a lot of 3s and 4s, more than you really want in this deck. So, and like, only one drop and it's mediocre. So, like, it's not just that this is a bad deck in the cube, I think this is also a bad version of this deck. Which is weird, because White was, like, gaping wide open pack 1. I guess maybe other people saw that as well and acted on it. We've got one drop. I mean, honestly, Legion's Landing into Honor of the Pure is pretty decent here. I wish we had anything to back it up with other than removal spells, but... I wonder what our actual creature count is. It can't be that high. I'm guessing like 14 or something like that. Maybe a little bit more. This is the point where if Liz were here, I'd ask her to bring me a whiskey, but she's not. Uh-oh. We are guaranteed to be playing against a better aggro deck than we are right now. Yup. I mean, Legion's Landing into Honor of the Pure is a potential way we can not just completely eat shit here, so that's good. Like a 2/2 lifelink is... That's not the card I wanted to cast. Is very real, and we are playing Honor of the Pure before Thalia for that reason. But, ooh, My keyboard's broken. I can't press F8. That is unfortunate. Yeah, it really feels like there's one of these batteries that has lost its shit because it is much hotter than the other. I guess I should replace these batteries. Finger of Destiny. All right, Jacule Pup is fine. This is a card that has no business being in this cube, by the way. It's not very good. There are a lot of better versions of this effect. And I do not stand behind putting in a shitty version of an effect for which good versions exist just to nerf a cube. I think that is cowardice. Or to nerf a color in a cube. Could play Smuggler's Copter here. They can attack through it with this anyway. I think I'd rather play Honor of the Pure. So I can keep this back and threaten to block Jackal Pup, in which case they probably just don't attack with Jackal Pup, or they remove my Vampire and attack with Jackal Pup. I think that's worse than just attacking with Vampire, letting them attack back, and net, I am still at the same life as if they just didn't attack with Jackal Pup, but they are down 2 life, so... This Parallax Wave is going to be pretty decent against them, I think. Oh, a little bit awkward with Thalia, but probably they'll just kill my Thalia, so that's nice, I guess. Or just attack around it with Figure of Destiny as another possibility. Yep. Just as I predicted. Throwing a 3-drop creature here would be alright. Okay. I guess so. I mean, Thalia's fine. Thalia is acceptable. She doesn't block the 4/4, but she does block the 2/1, so... And I get to gain some life, and... This Jackal Pup is kind of outmoded at this point, so... Someone's messaging me about work stuff at 12:30 a.m. on a Friday. I mean, technically a Saturday. I choose not to copy Chain Lightning. That's just a choice I'm making. I'm going to come back to that at another juncture when I'm not streaming and on my leisure time. I was right, though. This lifelinker is doing work. I was also right that they probably would have just chained lightning this if we'd left it back to block. I am also right that this Parallax Wave is going to be pretty good here. So is Revelark if it resolves. I mean, if I get the land to cast it is obviously what that actually means. Jim himself, huh? The Lava Man, sir. That goes away for a period of time to be determined at the end of this rhyme. Probably won't actually finish this rhyme, but when I do, you'll know how much time. Parallax Wave and Revelark is also a combo. Word to the wise. Ooh. A combo we will, in fact, be inactualizing, which is almost possibly a word. It's a weird game for us to be doing all right in, but I'm not too sad about it. So like what we can do with this Revelark is if they try to do the 2-for-1 on it, attack into it with Jackal Pup, I block, they Grim Lavamancer it to kill it. We just put it under Parallax Wave. We get Thalia back, which is pretty good. And then eventually Revelark itself also comes back once Parallax Wave pops. I guess it's not really a 2-for-1 because tapping Grim Lavamancer doesn't really count as a card, but yeah, sort of same deal here, except they don't take 5 off Jackal Pup, which is unfortunate for us. Zoop. And we do, like, since Revelark leaves the battlefield, which is my favorite thing about that card, we do get the trigger. Parallax Wave is great because no matter what you do with it, you feel more intelligent than everyone around you. It's like Mensa, but in a Magic card. Even when you play it wrong, to be clear. I guess we are resolving a Smopter and passing the turn, because I don't really want to Oblivion Ring either of these creatures. There's a very reasonable chance they will trade Jackal Pup for Vampire here, but I think that's fine. We've gained our 10 life off of it or whatever. I mean, there's Vesperlark. Does that count? A reference to Revelark. Yeah. It is a dumb and wrong way to do the mechanic, honestly. One of my pet peeves with the way, I think especially like cards that are engineered for specific constructed effects get designed, is that they will specifically subvert the purpose of a mechanical differentiation. So like one of the mechanical differentiations of like bouncing something versus killing it, or having a dies trigger versus a enters the battlefield trigger, for example, is that like you want to have them trigger at different times. You want them to be weaker to different effects, and the sort of you can have your cake and eat it too leaves the battlefield triggers undermine that. It just says like this card is more powerful for the sake of going against the conventions of what Magic cards usually do, and I don't like that. Possible you're just supposed to take another counter off Parallax Wave there, and just so we could bash with Revelark. In fact, it is more than possible. I would say we were supposed to do that, and I didn't. And I feel silly about it. But I think we're doing just fine. I will choose not to do this. Thank you for the opportunity. I would rather just bash. We are just absolutely willing to take a few damage on the crackback here. We are not within risk range of mono red at this point, really. They are within risk range of us. Watchmen. Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? Like, building a cube, you kind of have to sort of have an appreciation of the stuff that shouldn't have been printed, because so much of the cube is made up of that. I mean, unless you want to build a cube that is non-broken cards, which is a totally reasonable thing to do, but not what I do. Not really what any of the major sort of schools of cube design philosophy are all about. This is why I haven't cut Oko from my cube, for example, despite the fact that everyone currently hates him, because I feel like a couple years down the line, when he's less of an immediate boogeyman, there will be, it'll be cool to play with it in the same way that it's kind of cool to play with Jace the Mind Sculptor right now, or Skull Clamp, or Jite, or whatever, any of these former boogeymen of the standard format, and to some degree other formats as well, are we sideboarding anything? We could sideboard into red, Flame Slash is good against mono red, but none of the rest of these cards really are. We don't have any fixing, so we're not going to do that. We could go away from Elspeth. It's probably just a good idea in general. 6 drops aren't really where you want to be against mono red. Towards Linvala. Linvala's got a pretty big butt. She doesn't die to Lightning Bolt. And she nerfs what is it? The level up guy and Grim Lavamancer. To be fair, Oko is on a whole another level than most of the cards I mentioned. Figure, thank you. Except maybe Jace the Mind Sculptor. In terms of being both a multi-format boogeyman, and in terms of being a Unreal Cube card. What a stupid design they did. And I'm considering Oko to come out of the cube at some point, but I want to let him have his day first. His horny topless day. What is my opponent up to? How exactly do you side differently against this deck than you just play a deck in general? I guess maybe a little bit more creature removal is probably good. Wow, they're just timing out their deck submission, huh? Sometimes that means they disconnected, which would suck. Yeah, that is certainly a problem with Oko, is just feels miserable to play against. And even to some extent to play with. So maybe I'm trying too hard to keep him in, I don't know. I think he's part of the problem also is that he fills a really important slot. The blue-green hasn't really had a good planeswalker in forever and ever at any point in time, and Oko is a good blue-green planeswalker, and that's awesome. And it means what do I replace him with? Do I go back to X Nissa? It's not a great card, Can I? Okay. I guess I can't F8 from right click. That's nice. But yeah, it is possible that he's just too miserable and I should take him out. I did that with Vidalcan Shackles ages ago. That's fine. They get to do that, and that's okay. I can't really play Gideon here, although I will soon, I think. I don't think I saw anything for Leonin Relic Order, which I guess maybe means that card should come out if I sideboard again. But they might play something. You never know. There are good red artifacts and enchantments like Sulfuric Vortex, for example, would be very good here because I have a fair amount of opportunities for lifelink going on. Char, huh? Alright. Yeah. Char away. Little bird. I will block this Bomat Courier. Well, I would have blocked this Bomat Courier, although now I will just Leonin and Relic Order it, I suppose. Yeah, Honor of the Pure here is excellent. As I'm guessing you all could figure out. Yeah, I'll make a Relic Order. I'm just holding these back to block. I think my hand is strong enough that I don't really have a reason to go on the offensive right now. And just take a bunch of damage. Well, actually, you know what? I am attacking. If they want to get in for 4 damage, that's okay. I get to Blackblade, give something lifelink next turn. Ooh, that's a good one. They're playing big red aggro. Yeah, I try to have 1 Planeswalker for each color pair. Black-white actually gets 2 because it needs the help. But for the most part, yeah, 1 per. Oh, and they do get to get in with Bomat Courier? Boo. Well, that could have gone better. Ooh, Selfless Spirit here is nice, actually. So this means that I can do a bunch of multi-blocking and only the Selfless Spirit dies. Not attacking this time. I am in much less of a good position than I was last turn. Turns out, 4/4 Menace Flametongue Kavu is kind of brutal. Their best play here is probably just... Ooh. Well, never mind. It's Shrine of Burning Rage. I mean, in terms of the board, their best play is probably to just 1-for-1 Selfless Spirit and attack. But if they can't do that, then we're in a pretty good position because effectively cannot attack. I mean, this shrine will get me eventually, but Bomat Courier, huh? I guess just the sacrificial Bomat is pretty reasonable. Attack, sacrifice it after I block to basically draw 2 cards. I like this card. I don't have it in my cube because it feels like it kind of just fits in these super aggressive decks, and I try to limit the number of red cards that just fit in super aggressive decks, but it is sweet. Get to do stuff like that. Unfortunately, playing Gideon next turn still isn't great, because it doesn't, like, really give them worse attacks. Okay, sure. I just have a bunch of 4/4s and I have a bunch of 2/2s. And that makes me uncomfortable. I mean, I will have this Restoration Angel at some point. But I'd really like to start ticking up Gideon as well. Land, huh? Alright. I think we can afford to take a turn to Gid. You must be gidding me. Unfortunately, we can't afford to lifelink yet, but we can vigilance here. Start pecking them down a bit. Interestingly enough, this aggro on aggro game is the most like strategically interesting game we've played so far. People say aggro people say aggro doesn't require thought, and they're wrong about that. I guess if they really want to, they can shrine my Selfless Spirit here and then not attack, and then, you know, Kraken, have the way clear to Kraken next turn. Doesn't seem like a great use of shrine, but the Selfless Spirit really is, yeah, you're doing it. If I draw a Reveler here, I am made in every kind of shade. The Selfless Spirit, if I win this game, it's because of this guy. The play of like using this to one-sided fog effectively is so strong. All right, so they do get to 8/8 this next turn, which is not the best for me. Also, this Restoration Angel got worse now that I don't have a relevant creature for it in play. This prevents all damage that would be dealt to it during my turn, right? So I can slam with this. I can get in and threaten to get in 8 damage. Unfortunately, that's not actually enough here, but and this is until end of turn, right? So unfortunately, I cannot do anything cute with like using it, Restoration Angeling it, using it again to get like double lifelink or something. But nevertheless, this is totally fine. They either have to chump this or go to 5, which is pretty good for me considering that I have 4 power of flying on the battlefield and 4 more sitting at my hand to be used at instant speed. Plus Gideon just kills something next turn if I want him to. And if they do want to fully level Figure, they're spending almost all of their mana to do that. So it's unlikely that they'll be able to... Oh, they're at 4, not 5. I guess I miscounted. It's unlikely that they're going to be able to like do the finishing blow, kill both Restoration Angel and Spirit Token, especially with this Honor of the Pure in play. Like they could potentially, you know, shock Spirit Token, Fire Blast Restoration Angel, but not at this point. Ooh. That's not good for me. That is not at all good for me. That's lethal, even with this angel, huh? Yep. Yeah, it is. Fiery Confluence is a very powerful card. Oh, they aren't content for that to be lethal. Oh, I guess they also always do have the Runaway Steamkin extra mana if they really needed it, but they didn't. They got me fair and square. Yeah, I still like this main deck. Wait, no, we actually saw 2 things that Relic Warder is good against, so I don't think we actually need to side it out. Thought we might, but we don't. Reveler would have been very, very good there. but we didn't get it. I guess now I wish I'd taken like Baneslayer Angel or something, but can't have it all. These swords are probably not great against them. Actually, you know what? I'm siding out sort of Body and Mind for a Miria Angel. I want one sword because it just makes Stoneforge Mystic playable. But actually, is Body and Mind better than Feast and Famine? It makes a blocker, which is pretty good. Luckily, they take a million years to sideboard, so. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I wonder where we keep the batteries. I used to know at the old house. I think I know. But I'm not 100% sure. It's strange being in a new house. Although we're getting plenty of experience with it right now, I guess. I was really hoping I'd get to spend some of this time, you know, doing some dedicated unpacking and stuff, but like everyone, I overestimated the amount of spare energy I would have. Did you move, Michelle? Oh boy. I think this is a plausibly keepable hand against some decks, but Adanto Vanguard is not good on the defense, so I don't think we can keep it here. Ooh. First time we've seen balance. I think I remember you talking about that, but I'm not sure I remember you doing it. Oh my gosh. Well, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Wow, that's a lot of burned out light bulbs. Are you in a house now or what? Okay. That's a really tremendous amount of light bulbs for an apartment. How many light bulbs do you even have? Do we just raw out this relic order? We can't possibly. Not if we haven't even given them a chance to play Shrine. They didn't mulligan. Cheeky bastards. It's hilarious how much better our first hand would have been. By that I mean dismaying. But that's the game. I want to tweet about how I'm going to do another draft soon, but my keyboard's dead. I guess I have a phone. What are they doing? What are they thinking about? Okay, great. That's a good card. Why didn't you just play it? We're going to play Silverblade Paladin, and they're going to kill it. And then we're going to draw nothing, and then we're going to concede. That's my official prediction. If they don't kill it and we don't draw anything, I guess we make a double striking Relic Order. Hey, a thing Relic Order can deal with, huh? Huh? Ah, it's a removal spell, though. Watch it be a removal spell. Yeah. That's a removal spell. I mean, with identical draws, the it's really funny. With identical draws, the hand we mulliganed first would also have lost to this. So the one-lander probably would have won, though. But you can't keep a one-lander on the play. A one-lander with 0 castable spells. I will do that. Thank you for the opportunity. God. All right. What did I say? I said we would play the double striker and they would remove it. And we would play Relic Order and we would draw nothing and we would concede. And that's exactly what happened. So I may not be good at drafting decks, but I am good at predicting the future. I am going to get myself some water and some whiskey, and then we're going to draft again because we can't just leave it at that. So I will return shortly. Hello, friends. I'm back. I'm liquored up. In the sense that I have a small glass of whiskey in my hands, not in the sense that I'm drunk. Although we'll see when I get done with this small glass of whiskey, am I right? No. It's too small. But it is very good. It's whiskey that I'm technically probably not really supposed to have, so I won't really say exactly what it is, but it's good. I'll show you a picture. I can tell you it's from Islay, the famous smoky whiskey island. Man, it is hard to do anything without a keyboard, huh? You know what? I'll be right back again. I'm going to get some batteries, and then I will show you this beautiful whiskey. All right, the batteries were not actually very hard to find. I can tell you that this whiskey has some notes that might be described as baby vomit. Which, as surprising as it sounds, are actually pretty delicious. Pray for me that this keyboard is working now. Well, your prayers were in vain. I don't think you prayed hard enough. Did I put them in wrong? No, I don't think so. I hope that doesn't mean I like short-circuited the keyboard somehow. Because I can't imagine it's like that easy to purchase new wireless keyboards at this particular juncture in time. I do have a wired keyboard here, but it's kind of a long way from the couch to the computer, and I don't know how long the wire is. I don't think babies actually vomited in the whiskey. I don't think. Although, who is to say for sure? Come on. Alright, well. Let's see how long this USB cord is. Ooh, it's very short. Very short indeed. I wonder if Liz's work computer keyboard has a longer cord or something. I'll be right back. Turns out Liz's keyboard is wireless and the dongle isn't here. So, I won't show you the whiskey. It's beautiful, rest assured. But I cannot type photos.google.com into my URL bar at the moment, so your loss. But it is 1:05, so we can jump back into a draft queue. Probably want to see that, huh? Just a hunch. They're babies, not horses. I don't think they're baby horses, although I guess I've never tasted baby horse vomit. Maybe it's the same. I've also never tasted baby human vomit, except I assume as a baby. Honestly, I mostly just know the note because it's a very famous note for one particular distillery that may or may not have distilled this whiskey. And I've kind of picked up on it contextually through that. All right, I'm not saying I'm going to force storm this time, but I want to have some fun tonight. I want to make bad plays. It is 1 a.m. and I want to make bad plays. Storm is a notoriously forgiving deck of bad plays, of course. Honestly, I think that's why, like, a bunch of, big name players like LSP like it so much, is because it's such a difficult deck to play correctly. It's like this intense play skill challenge, all the more when they draft it really badly. I mean, okay, we're probably taking Library here. I think Library has gotten worse as creatures have gotten better in Cube. I think it is no longer at a tier with like Moxen or even like particularly good fast mana, but the entire rest of this pack is a modern Cube pack, except for, I guess, Reanimate. Literally all of these cards are legal in Modern. I guess Jackal Pup isn't either, but many much better cards than Jackal Pup are. So, yeah, so I'm going to take the powerful land and not look back. There's a lot of decks that Library of Alexandria can go into as well. Yeah, I know I was talking a big game about Storm, but we're probably just taking Oko here. I think it's a fair bet that this card is one of the most powerful cards in Cube. It goes very well with Urza, which is another card I would love to take, but I'm just going to take the Oko, actually, though. Ooh, follow that up with a Breeding Pool pretty easily over not a whole lot. Like, Garruk Relentless is pretty good. You could do a pretty good Sultai deck in this cube, but you gotta have lands for it, right? And Breeding Pool is one of those lands. Specifically, one of those lands that casts Oko Thief of Crowns. Alright, there is an elf. It is a good elf in Sultai in particular. Not as good in other decks. Other cards here... Torrential Gearhulk could be okay, but it's pretty contextually dependent. Lumbering Falls is kind of the other card I'm actually thinking about. I guess Stellarian Academy is kind of a combo with Oko, right? Food tokens are artifacts. Or like Polychronos. I don't know. I'm not gonna bet high on the Academy, and I think like this is much worse than other elves if you aren't black. If you are black, like, you want to have a lot of fixing anyway, so Lumbering Falls is still good, so I'm just gonna take the Lumbering Falls. I'll pretty happily take a Gaia's Cradle here. After this, I'd probably take Preordain or potentially Wall of Roots, but Gaia's Cradle is just great in all of these decks. All right, and now Arbor Elf, really good with Gaia's Cradle, casts a turn 2 Oko. We're just kind of living the Damp Broccoli dream. Damp Broccoli, for those of you who are unfamiliar with like classic Seattle cube lingo, is blue-green. Get it? Get it? We'll take Sheldock Isle here pretty easily. This card is busted. And so is Oracle of Moldiah. Could also take Creeping Tar Pit here. I'm glad you got it. Creeping Tar Pit lets us do the Sultai thing. Sultai's nice because it has 3 really powerful 3-mana Planeswalkers, one of which we already have. It's got Oko, it's got Ashiok, and it's got, I guess there's not a black-green one? Okay, 2 really powerful 3-mana Planeswalkers. But I think we can probably pick up the stuff we need for that later, especially because green is good at fixing. See Lotus Cobra. With Breeding Pool, we are more likely to want to pick up Fetch Lands, which also are good with Lotus Cobra. Fetch Lands also good with Oracle of Moldiah, so I'm taking it over Master of the Wild Hunt, which is pretty good, but kind of more mid-rangey than we want to be. We will Craterhoof Behemoth, which is frankly disrespectful, so... So, on the upside, we have like 3 or 4 extremely powerful cards, arguably 5 or 6, and we have not yet had a pick that didn't present us with an opportunity for something at least quite good. On the downside, I don't really see a downside. Yeah, I agree, Michelle. Mawaihu is a lot better in decks where creature combat's more relevant. Like, the thing about it is that it both gives you an army and is effective removal for your opponent's creatures, and if it's only doing the first thing, it's kind of less than stellar. I mean, it's still good, it's fine, but you know, if we knew we were getting like, ooh, Garruk, yeah, I don't mind if I do. I can't believe this is in the cube. This is so dumb. It was dumb in the modern cube, and it's dumb here. All right, now we'll take the elves. Wow, so we're just cleaning up here. Just getting everything we could ever possibly want. If we knew we were getting opposition, hilarious, we would potentially have taken Master. We would at least have weighed it more highly, but I don't think this is great. I also think it should be Cultivate if you aren't doing any other arcane stuff, but that's me. I think these cards are all right if you're doing like a 3+ color deck and you need the fixing, but I don't think that comes up very often. So, ooh, Mox on color. Don't mind if I do. Wouldn't hate Windswept Heath, but or a Phantasmal Image, or even a Scavenging Ooze, really. Harmonize wouldn't hurt either, but we're taking the Mox. Sometimes you just find the wildly open color, and you live large. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It is card advantage with those decks sometimes want, but once you're multiple colors, you can already get card advantage in other ways. So that's like a little bit less valuable. And I feel like maybe I just prioritize fixing highly enough that it doesn't come up as often, but kind of looking at the Scarab God here, I know we've picked past some black fixing already, but Elves and Lotus Cobra both do fix for black. This card is very powerful. And arguably easier to cast than like Miscalculation if we aren't super high on blue, which it seems like we might not be. And we're kind of lacking in some mid to late game, so I like this card over like a Miscalculation or a Venser, which is a little bit hard to cast. I mean, obviously this is hard to cast because we don't have any black lands, but we can get black lands. All right, and there's like a Fallen Shinobi. It is not impossible this card will wheel, which would again be disrespectful, but we got like a, what, fourth to last pick Craterhoof Behemoth, so... And Fallen Shinobi is a disgusting card. Just gross as hell. I love it. Krasis is also really good, yeah. And also might wheel. But I think Fallen Shinobi is just excellent, especially in Vintage Cube, where people are doing really broken stuff. Like, sometimes you'll just hit an Emrakul. I like Eternal Witness here. Card does everything. By which I mean it does one thing very efficiently. Also, if we can get like a Recurring Nightmare, this deck is a great Recurring Nightmare deck. Like Thragtusk, Eternal Witness, Craterhoof Behemoth. Like, you don't need to be like dedicated Reanimator to play Recurring Nightmare. In fact, it's better in decks where it's just like you're playing it for value over time, and something like Eternal Witness with a really good enters the battlefield effect is great for that. All right, well, there's the opposition. So we're just living the dream. We do want more blue lands now. More creature, more like go wide creature spells, but whatever. I mean, opposition's just great. You don't need to be going super deep on it for it to be really good. Can also, you know, make some Elks, tap some things with some Elks, make some more Elks, tap some more things with some more Elks. What a dumb card. I can't believe it can -5 the turn after it comes into play. Ooh. I think Edric is all right here. Whisperwood is good with opposition, though. I've also been, like, a little bit less impressed with Edric lately. Probably also wheel it, right? Probably should just take Whisperwood. I think Vivian Reed is also very good, but... Oh, Verdant Catacombs is perfect for us. Makes it much easier to cast this Scarab God, even if we don't get, like, a black dual land, but if we do, especially. A little bit brutal that it's in the same pack as Wooded Foothills. Alright. What does this card even do? Oh, it's, like... bad Oracle of Moldiah. Oracle of Moldiah that doesn't get you card advantage, which is not what I want here. I think I'm taking Blooming Marsh. I like having my mana be really consistent. I think Biogenic Ooze is actually pretty good here with opposition, but we have 3 5-drops already. Fallen Shinobi doesn't count. That's a 4-drop. But we don't need tons more. I like Phantasmal Image here a lot. There's a lot of good cards we have that can copy, and cards other people will have as well. Like Wall of Blossoms. Okay. It's unfortunate that it doesn't work with Fallen Shinobi, but otherwise it's great for us. I was right. Elvish Mystic did wheel. Put that in the sideboard in case we random into the... Wow. We are just living the absolute life, aren't we? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm taking Vivian here. That's actually... Carnage Tyrant is a pretty good sideboard card, too. Also, like, we have 18 playables here. We could easily have had way more if we prioritize lands less, which means that, like, prioritizing lands is working out well for us because we aren't going to be scraping for playables. We also... All of the cards in our sideboard we could easily just put in the main deck if we needed to. Yeah, I'd say so. I think this one's going a little better than the last one. Ooh, Mox Emerald versus Jiraga Treespeaker. That's a tough one. I mean, it's not that tough. We're taking Mox Emerald, but this guy might wheel. If this guy wheels, it's just beautiful. Ugin wouldn't be bad either, but we're taking a Mox. Ooh, Deranged Hermit, huh? Guy is pretty bonkers. I also like Thief of Sanity a lot, though. And green cards have been wheeling so late. And this isn't even a good green card unless you're specifically playing opposition. So I'm going to take this guy. This is one of those cards where, like, every time you read it, you discover another thing that it does that's better than you thought it was before. Like, you think, oh, I can't cast their spells with my mana. It's like, no, you actually can. Or you think, like, oh, well, I can't cast them after this dies. No, actually, you can do that, too. Or, oh, I only get the top card. No, you choose of 3 cards which one to get. Just a stupid Magic card. Probably just taking Botanical Sanctum here. Like, I mean, obviously, like, Control Magic, Sylvan Caryatid, Garruk Primal Hunter, all of these are very good cards, but we are going to get enough playables, guaranteed, so we just don't need to spend picks on them, really. This is, like, the first pack we've seen that's not knockdown, drag out amazing. We could take an Avacyn's Pilgrim, but I don't think we need it. Especially because we aren't using that. I think we'll probably just take Remand. I think our mana is good enough at this point to probably play this. Hissing Quagmire or Wild Squeaker. I also like Tragon Predator, okay, but... not, like, that much. Once again, I'm just going to take the land. All right, sure. This is why I didn't really want to take the Avacyn's Pilgrim. Like, we're just getting elves hands over fist. Let's see, we have 11 lands, so we need 2 more playables. What are we really looking for? More power would be good. Yeah, unfortunately, we do probably have to take Natural Order over Bayou. I mean, we don't actually have any... yeah, I know, Bayou's great. It's perfect in this deck. We really want it. But, come on. This card just wins the game. Although Craterhoof Behemoth is kind of an awkward one to get with it. But we can try to pick up something, another huge creature, potentially. Or, I mean, there was a Thragtusk going around. If we get Thragtusk, we will play it with Natural Order in the deck. Or, just having this be Craterhoof number 2 that costs a lot less is also pretty good. Ooh, wow, there are decisions here, huh? Plow Under is a very powerful way to take advantage of a bunch of early mana. I don't think we need the 5th elf. Skull Clamp is a very powerful way to take advantage of a bunch of small elves, but I think we want the Plow Under. I think we just want a little bit more stuff to help us cement an early lead. Derogatory Speaker did table. So whatever I said you should do when Derogatory Speaker tables, do it, please. We are now 1 land over budget, or 1 playable over budget. Although actually with 5 1-drop elves, we're playing 16 lands anyway, so... Or, 14 lands plus Mox Emerald plus Mox Sapphire. We will take Deranged Hermit. I'm not even sure we're mainboarding it, even with opposition. Like, this card is great when you specifically have opposition, or Gaia's Cradle. But it's not incredible otherwise. Like, you really don't want to be spending the full 10 on this. Ooh, that's a 5-drop I would like to play. I think we want the Den Protector over the Avacyn's Pilgrim here. I think the Thragtusk, sadly, is not coming back. Some reanimation deck must have snatched that up. Which does make this Natural Order a little bit more awkward, but just means that, like, the turn 3 Natural Order is not going to be as good. But the turn 6 Natural Order will. Wow, Garruk's for days. It's possible I was supposed to take Tragon Predator there. I just snapped up the Garruk on instinct. But we don't really have much artifact or enchantment removal, other than, like, Vivian Reed, I guess. So, Mirari's Wake, the one card that we can't just put in our deck out of everything we've drafted. So, okay, we have 11 lands. That leaves us with 27 playables. We want to hit 24 because you can play 15 or 16 lands with this many elves pretty easily. And that means we need 3 cuts. I don't think I want to go down to 15 lands here, just because we do have mana requirements. The thing is, like, once one of the modes on Remand is you can, like, you know, play a Whisperwood Elemental or a Garruk Primal Hunter, you know, some powerful 5-drop, and then just leave it up after that. Like, one of the side effects of having a lot of mana is, like, yeah, we're not almost ever remanding on turn 2, but a lot of the time we'll cast like a powerful 4 or 5-drop and leave up remand, and then just getting another turn with one of our planeswalkers is really good. Probably we are cutting Wall of Blossoms, probably also Wall of Roots. I think it is our least powerful mana accelerant, and we have a lot of mana accelerants. This still leaves us with 5-6 cheap mana accelerants plus Garruk Wildspeaker. And then probably we want to cut a 5-drop, right? It's probably big Thrags. Hate to say it, big guy, but you will come in more aggressive matchups. Otherwise, you're a little bit iffy. All right. We only have one more blue card than we have black cards. That's kind of funny. Let's see. How many blue sources do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 5, 6 blue sources. Plus, kind of Lotus Cobra. Yeah, this is what I would call 3-color mono green. I'm gonna play. I think we can get away with playing 8 blue sources here. We do need 1 basic swamp. If we play 2 forests, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green sources, of which only Hissing Quagmire. Oh, 2 of them come into play tapped, which isn't great. Probably we actually do want to go down an island, up a forest there. That gives us 9 untapped turn 1 green sources. Oh, I guess 8 because Gaia's Cradle doesn't count either. Can we get away with playing 0 islands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty rough to do that. I think this will be fine. We could really have used like a Birds of Paradise or something else that produces blue mana, but I think that's all right. One of the downsides of playing 16 lands in a deck like this is that you have fewer opportunities to make your mana work. But all right. Who's here for turn 1 Oko? Oh, my keyboard's broken. I can't snap a picture of this. What a bummer. I'm just making sure my keyboard is still broken. Yep, definitely broken. Okay. Do you think they're going to Force of Will this Oko? Or Force of... Does Force of... Yeah, Force of Negation works here. They did not. Okay. Magic the Gathering. This is Vintage Cube. This is real Vintage Cube that's happening right now. Okay, well, we can't play Thief of Sanity this turn, unfortunately, but we can definitely play it next turn. We're just starting to bash here, no question. I did briefly forget that was a plus ability as well, just so we're clear. Even I can't keep up with how good Oko is. I guess we play Elves of Deep Shadow. I don't see a real reason not to. If we draw, I don't know, Natural Order or something, it could be relevant. Ooh. He does not relent. I think we're just making this Mox Emerald into a 3/3. Like, I think we're just bashing. So now we're a little bit weak to a turn 3 damnation, I guess. A little bit. I mean, we still have 2 planeswalkers in play, so, you know, a little bit. That's not a turn 3 damnation. In fact, you know what can fight this snake and live? Garruk Wildspeaker. And yeah, okay. They saw the writing on the wall. I was gonna animate the Mox Sapphire, even though it got rid of our blue source, because just gotta bash. You just gotta bash. Well, that was disgusting. What do we want? Probably Carnage Tyrant is good here. Hexproof is can't be countered. Hexproof is just strong against their thing, I assume. What is not strong against their thing? I mean, Natural Order's a little weak to counter magic, I guess. A bit, technically. God, this deck is icky. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's like, who let us have this? Is this guy just too dirtily against them? Might be. Yeah, alright. I think that's a reasonable cut for Carnage Tyrant. Carnage Tyrant, weirdly, is, I think, our only 6-drop in this deck. We have 1,000,000 5s and an 8. But only 1 6, and I think no 7s. Honestly, I think this hand is keepable. Especially on the draw. If we draw a land... Well, do we play Tree Speaker? Tree Speaker has very high upside, but also very high downside. And they do seem like the sort of deck that could just hold up a removal spell for it, you know? Hilarious. Well, definitely now we are not playing Draga Tree Speaker, because there's no guarantee we will even be able to activate it. They could just have a bunch of creature removal here and get us, but it's a risk you take when you play 15 lands. 16 lands. Well, 14 lands and 2 Moxes. That is a risk you take. No, don't tap for blue. I think we just play Arbor Elf here. I think still going for the Tree Speaker is too greedy, especially when we have like a lot of stuff we can cast on 4. And 5 if we draw a black source. They took our Underground Sea, the bastards. I like to say that even though we're not playing in pod, because sort of part of the cube experience, you know? What are they up to? Wow. I mean, that's one of the modes of Mulldrifter. It's not unreasonable. But, like, kinda, wow. Ooh. Moxie, huh? Unfortunately, Mox cannot get untapped with Garruk Wildspeaker here. I still think I still like playing him, making a beast, and playing a tree speaker. No, tree speaker just puts me so far down to a wrath here, which is a totally reasonable thing for their deck to be playing. So, like, we can cast Carnage Tyrant next turn anyway if they don't do anything, and yeah, they're sort of stuck between attacking Garruk with Baleful Strix and not really having a blocker up for this beast, or not doing that. So it looks like they're probably a Reanimator deck. Like playing within pod. It's better. It's like a truer Magic experience, and not playing out of pod and cube is not a real cube experience. I certainly believe that. That said, like, I'm okay for an 80% real cube experience if I get to jam it day in and day out, Like, they got the recurring nightmare too. Bastards. They can recur a Terastodon. This is not great for me. I really love the experience of hanging around with my friends, playing cube, and enjoying life. But that's a totally different experience than playing these online. I sort of equate it to like real cube, like being in a room with your friends playing with physical cards is like, it's like a nice restaurant meal, You come there to have a nice evening, you sit down and enjoy yourself. It's great, but it's not something that like you can just run off a bunch of, right? Whereas online cube it's like fast food, right? It has its place. It's great. Like, sometimes you just want to fucking have a burger and you don't want to make a whole thing about it. Sometimes you want to have 6 burgers in a night. And that's great. That's what fast food is for. And so I'm glad online cube exists, for that reason. Oh boy. So if they have the removal spell here, if they have any removal spell or like Venser or anything, they really do blow us out. So I think we have to take this and go to 9. I don't love it, but if they don't do anything else here, we do have Carnage Tyrant next turn. Ooh. No. Not that, please. Please, not that. All right. We're pretty dead. All right. They got us. They reanimated us out. Kind of wish I had the sideboard Scoos here, but what can you do when you don't have a Scoos? Yeah, it doesn't really help. Yeah, we just have to outrace them. It's a very doable thing for our deck. An Oko and an opposition, but no mana acceleration. I don't think I like this, actually. This hand is too slow. This hand's pretty good. We don't have the turn 1 green source that I keep going on about, but also this Arbor Elf is pretty god-awful. Yeah, I think we bottom the elf here. But if things go well, this goes pretty quickly, and if things don't go well, at least we make them spend time killing our stuff while we get up to sort of natural 4 and start doing our big strong things. Ooh, that's actually pretty good, because this means we don't really need to have a shields down moment next turn to charge the elf. Good night, Michelle. Thanks for hanging out. And they didn't kill the elf in response, although I guess that doesn't mean anything because, you know, we can't use the mana until our turn anyway. They could easily have sorcery speed removal or something. Okay, just Grim Monolith is not the worst. I mean, it's not great, but we can plow them under this turn, which will set them pretty far back. I mean, they could potentially still play something off of the Monolith, but I still like this as a start. It just means that they're spending 2 turns drawing blanks. And they're still 2 turns behind where they would have been this turn otherwise. So, yeah, like that's just not an especially impressive play off of a Grim Monolith. Dack Fayden's okay. Dack Fayden stealing my thing is pretty annoying, I'll admit that. I'm big enough to admit that. So, do we want to let them loot off Dack? I think we really don't. Especially because we know the next card they're drawing is just a land. I think we are willing to take our turn off to make sure they sort of take their turn off. Also, Dack lets them get cards into, like, create reanimation targets into their graveyard, which is pretty bad for us. That's all right. That's fine. Not worried about that. Garrett can kill that. Not immediately, but eventually. Okay, that's good. We could Garrick, but I think we actually want to start drawing cards here. Building out our board presence does relatively not as much, so. Slamming with the snake, as you say. Okay. Bloomin' Marsh. Ooh, Oko's good. Oko's a good card, as they say. What are they up to? Are they just sort of stuck doing nothing, really? I'm gonna make this Garrick, I think. They might be able to mana leak it, but it's not the end of the world if that happens. And if it doesn't, we get to start making wolves. And wolves are very good with Craterhoof Behemoth. Next turn, I mean, if we can, we're probably just Garrick into Oko. Ooh, guess we can't. Although we can't... Oh, okay. Wow. That's bold. A little bit awkward, but we can still Garrick into Oko here, so we could also Phantasmal Image copying Inferno Titan, killing their Ophiomancer. But we can't do that and cast Oko. And casting Oko threatens -5, which should be very terrifying for them. So I like Garrick into Oko for that reason. And awkwardly, we have 1 mana left over. If the Thief of Sanity were a land, we would be in a better spot here. But they also kind of can't just sit around letting me have a million planeswalkers in play. So we may have to chump with Oracle of Moldiah here awkwardly, but that's okay. Probably. So the awkward thing for them is that if they hello, if they attack with Inferno Titan and they kill the wolf, they can't get Oko below 5. I mean, they can also attack with Ophiomancer and Snake, I suppose, which gives them a little bit more flexibility. But they're kind of hard-pressed for targets for this Inferno Titan. It would have been really a lot better if I had... yeah, they're attacking with everything. Wow! At Garruk Wildspeaker. Holy shit, do they must have another removal spell for Oko, right? They really don't want this Garruk Wildspeaker to happen. I mean, I can't stop them from doing this, so I guess I just block the Ophiomancer, because it's a good trade. That was weird. Maybe they haven't read Oko. They wouldn't be the first. Scarab God. That's a good one. I know, because it's in my deck, too. Oh, it's power 3 or less. Oh, yeah, the way you're supposed to deal with big creatures is the +1. Got it. So I really badly misplayed last turn, is what I'm learning. Sometimes we all have to learn that Natalie really badly misplayed. That's okay. So what we can do instead of what I was going to do is we can make a Scarab God, and we can scare up their or our Oracle of Moldiah, this time as a... Oh shit, this costs blue? Motherfucker. Just misplaying left and right. That's fine. Inferno Titan, you're an elephant now. Luckily, this does come back to my hand when it dies, I'm pretty sure. So, that's nice. Yeah. That's about all we can do right now. Man, this would have been so much better if I just +1'd on Inferno Titan last turn instead of making a food for no reason. Oh, boy. And now they get the Oracle of Moldiah. And I just get an Ophiomancer, which isn't very exciting. Or they get a Chandra Torch of Defiance, which doesn't strike me as a great play for them, but... Oh, I see. They kill my Scarab God with it? I guess so. That also doesn't strike me as a great play. I guess they can try to kill my Oko here, although I can chump with Tree Speaker to make that a little bit less viable. Which I will. So Oko goes to 4. But I get back Phantasmal Image. Lumbering Falls is not bad here. I will once again copy the Scarab God. And now I will make the Scarab God also an elk. Everything is an elk. Yeah. Yeah, Ed, you're not wrong. Listen, the whole thing about the card Oko, Thief of Crowns, is that you need to read it. And every time you read it, you need to read it again because nothing about it makes any kind of sense. What is this? Stop casting huge bangers. Please. Please, God. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Please stop casting huge bangers. Okay, well, that's not... No! Really? Wait, they don't have double blue. Oh, thank God. Okay, okay. Whew. All right. My heart stopped for a moment there. Please attack me with this Inferno Titan. Just because it's an elk now doesn't mean it's an elk in your graveyard. Alright. Ooh, Gaia's Cradle, huh? Okay. Wow. Oko can't transform Chandra into a elk? Card's not very good. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Good point, Ed. And they wouldn't even untap with it if they tried. So I can make my food into an elk. And I can attack Chandra, and they just trade with the snake, but that's probably fine, right? And then what I can do is play Thief of Sanity. I guess I don't even really need to play Thief of Sanity to do this, but I'm gonna for the style points. And they don't have enough to like cryptic me or anything. Play Thief of Sanity. Gaia's Cradle now taps for 1,000,000 mana, and I can finally get back. Wait, no, actually, hold on. Can I undo? Yeah, okay, great. Before I do that, I'm gonna bash with the food in case they block wrongly for some reason. Because I still have enough to Gaia's Cradle plus Scarab God if I need to. Also, this is an instant. What the fuck? Cards are so powerful. Yeah, that's what I expected to happen. That's okay. Could also make an Ophiomancer. But I want to draw cards. Let Nat draw cards. Yeah, it went from there went from like almost no particularly good oh, now they're playing their whatever the thing. Oh, that's it? Okay. It went from almost no particularly good like blue black cards. Like there were some fine ones, but nothing like amazing to like my blue black section in my cube is just overflowing now. Time Spiral. Holy shit. That's a desperation play if I ever saw one. I have my Scarab God now. I mean, all right, they have 7 cards in hand and 9 mana, so like they can do some stuff. They could Terastodon, I guess. That would be okay. Otherwise, I'm just gonna like hoof them next turn, I guess. If they don't do something pretty good. I want to see them cast Mystic Confluence, returning their 2 creatures to their hand. I think that would just be really funny. Wouldn't be great for me, but it would be really funny. Demonic Tutor, huh? Okay. I wonder what the best card in their deck is right now. I guess we'll find out. Oh, sneak attack. Yeah, that makes sense to be the best card in their deck. They could also sneak attack another creature here. Because Emrakul, the Promised End, on its own doesn't win them the game. This is real Vintage Cube right now. Okay. That actually still does not win them the game. It comes pretty close, but I am in fact at 1 life after all is said and done. Although, like, I'm certainly... Oh, right, then they Chandra me for the death. All right, wow, okay. That was hard fought and well earned on their part. I would have easily won that game if I hadn't misplayed the first turn I played Oko. Just for the record. That's not like a... I'm not trying to brag by saying that. I'm not trying to say, oh, they didn't deserve the win. I'm trying to neg myself by saying, like, wow, I really played my way right into that loss. But that's the way of Magic. Like, they also, like, absolutely played to their 1 out and got it. And, like, they should be proud of that. They played well. Their deck was sweet as hell. More power to them. I'm out of whiskey, though. What if I got some whiskey? But what if my opponent appears? I've been in the queue for a minute. I don't really want to, like, reset the queue. This is why it's difficult to do this on my own. If Liz were here, I'd just say, hey, Liz, could you get me some whiskey? Except if Liz were here, she'd be asleep because it's 2 a.m. All right. I would love to play first. I would also love to blame that loss just now on having whiskey, but we all know that's not true. I don't think this is a keeper. This one, oof, on the play, going to 6. I mean, yeah, like, it's got spells. I think I actually put library back, though, dismaying as it sounds. Yeah, I like a Plow Under there. Plow Under is kind of nice because, like, even later in the game, it can be pretty good. Because you just, you know, you're still denying them 2 turns of draws, right? Even if you're not necessarily denying them mana in the same way. Yeah, we will play this Lotus Cobra. We don't have a play for it next turn, but if we draw an untapped land or like a 3-drop, like an Oko, for example, we're going to be able to do some stuff. Their deck is playing colors that are not traditionally considered great. Let's just say that. Yeah, Fetch Land was pretty good. I would say it was pretty good. So the question here is, do we play Whisperwood Elemental because we can? Or do we play, like, Oracle of Moldiah and hold up mana to pay for Mana Tithe? Probably just getting a basic forest here. We've got plenty of blue sources. I mean, Mana Tithe is in the format, so it seems pretty greedy not to play around it when we can. Okay. Oh, I guess... Oh, yeah, we didn't have the Lumbering Falls. Yeah, I'm still going to play it, even though it sort of... I guess it doesn't even really lose us a mana off of the Lotus Cobra, because it enters tapped next turn anyway. So we get the mana off of it untapping. I will love to attack for 2 damage. Thank you for that beautiful opportunity. Slam, 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 2 damn, edge. If we can't at least pull out a 2-1 with this deck, I will be very disappointed in myself. Although, oh man, last time I drafted an incredible Sultai deck after midnight. It was in Ikoria, and it was just like the sickest deck you've ever seen. It had like the Titanoth Rex reanimation combo. It actually had 2 reanimation spells along with Titanoth Rex. It had Kolga the Titan Ape. It had the dude that can mutate from your graveyard. It was just firing on all cylinders, and a number of cylinders that I didn't even know existed to fire on. And I just played that deck into the ground in the sense of very, very badly did I play it. And I still feel kind of bad about that. I feel like I have an obligation to the really good decks I draft. So we're starting off on the same foot here is what I'm saying. I'm a little nervous about that. Unfortunately, we cannot cast Whispered Elemental plus Garruk Wildspeaker here. Whispered is definitely the more important one to get out. So I'll do that. Don't really want to trade Oracle of Moldiah for... Okay. Well, alright then. Guess that's one way to win. They look like a fairly aggressive deck, so I'm going to side in Thragtusk over... I guess Garruk Primal Hunter again. It's kind of just the mediumist card still in the deck. He's good, but he just sort of hangs around and draws a bunch of cards. It's a funny hand. Can I keep a 0-lander on the draw? I mean, honestly, yeah, I think I can. Yeah. Like, we want some... Well, that's nice. We want some more mid-rangey stuff that... we can actually ramp into before Craterhoof, but yeah, so now I play so much Cube with such a wide variety of play skills, both better than and worse than me. I feel like I have an extremely finely tuned understanding of exactly how good I am or am not at Magic, and it's pretty good. I'm all right. But I'm nothing to write home about, you know. I make moderately many obvious onboard errors. I think I'm quite to very good at drafting. But again, not like necessarily like pro tier, you know. Tithy takesy. Well, okay. So I can hoof if I draw another land. If I draw a blue land, I might, just because like. So the hoof itself, if I draw a land that produces blue mana, suppose I draw an island. I tap all my elves, I tap all my lands, I hoof. Hoof and morph both get +5/+5. So that's 17 damage right off the bat. You know, actually, what I should do is I should just megamorph this right now. And this makes this attack right here. So it can attack through Tithe Taker because it has creatures with power less than its power can't block it, which is a very reasonable ability to call Menace, but not the one they chose to call Menace. And this brings them down low enough that a hoof on its own next turn kills them without needing to clone it with Phantasmal Image again. Of course, if they have a Mana Tithe, which I played around so hard last game, I would be boned. Well, yeah, I would be pretty boned. Unless they tap out of white. Cool. I mean, this does mean they could block the Crater Hoof with all of that, but whatever. Well, that's good too. Probably just plussing. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I like Shelldock here. Now they're probably going to feel a fair amount of pressure to kill Vivien, which buys me some life points. And now I can, unless they kill an elf, pretty much guaranteed hoof next turn. I guess they don't feel the obligation to attack Vivien anymore. I feel so mixed about Council's Judgment in Cube because like it says so many words on it that everybody has to read, and just ultimately to say nothing, to say exile a permanent of your choice. But on the other hand, you do get to say, okay, what are you voting for? And they have to tell you. And the sick rub-in opportunity there is not to be trifled with. Yeah, I mean, we're doing plan A. If they have Mana Tithe, they have Mana Tithe. At least we know about Mana Tithe going into game 3. And if they don't have Mana Tithe, and they don't have like a removal spell, we win. So that's neat. They could also have a removal spell. That would also get us here. Looks like they have a removal spell. Well, that's what happens when you keep a bunch of mana acceleration and nothing to do with it, I guess. I like Wall of Blossoms here. Probably also Wall of Roots, if I'm being honest. Vivien Reid seems weak. Fallen Shinobi also seems weak when the quality of their deck is relatively low. Probably should have done that sideboarding last time, but here we are. I would love to play first. This is another awkward one. I don't think we... Well, yeah, I guess we keep it. Like... There are a lot of draws here that make this pretty good. Yes, Powlander is kind of mediocre against them as well. Yeah, This is an iffy one. Not sure about this. Ugh, can't F6 because I don't have a fucking keyboard. All I want to do is F6 and cash register noise, cash register noise. Do kids these days even want to bang to gunshot noise, and cash register noise, and something money? The Legion has landed. I can't believe Magic just did colonialism this set. What a weird idea. Alright, so one land here, and we have a Plowunder or a Whisperwood. And one Eternal Witness here, and we have nothing, really. I don't really want to cast this Mox Emerald, because they could easily have, like, Leonin Relic Order or something and really punish me for it. Gidget Blackblade, huh? Probably giving that Vigilance if I had to guess. So we're playing Whisperwood next turn if we get the chance. Which I very much hope we do. Ooh, that's not what we were looking for, but I guess it's okay. We're taking 5 next turn. Not ideal. Linvala? God damn. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I guess we've discovered what Linvala is for. And it's exactly what I said. It's for nerfing elves, which seems like a really weird thing to do in a cube that has, I think, all 10 signets and, like, moxes and stuff. Feels like elves come pre-nerfed here. I don't think they really need Linvala to do it for them. Luckily, opposition creates activated abilities of opposition and not of creatures. So this elf isn't just sitting around here doing nothing at all. We're actually still in an okay shape here. We're taking 4. They can wasteland us, and that's bad. They wastelanded us, and it's bad. But if we draw an untapped land... Oh my god, really? Okay. Well, that blows. Alright, we may be struggling in the O2 bracket once again, friends. This Gideon also, it's worth noting, has 7 loyalty counters on it, so I don't know why they didn't give the Linvala Vigilance there. Seems a little loose. So, like, they can just Gideon the Whisperwood Elemental, too. We can sacrifice it, and we can bring it back with Eternal Witness, but technically, they can Gideon the Whisperwood Elemental. Attack here, rather than trying to block, because they just give things indestructible anyway. I don't see a likely immediate future where we get rid of this Linvala, unfortunately. This is a much less fun match to lose than to the time spiral into sneak attack into Emrakul plus Sower of Temptation. That was a fun match to lose, I would say. Wait. What happened? Why didn't I get a chance to... Oh, because you can't use the sacrifice ability because of Linvala. That's fun. Oh boy. Yeah, we're pretty much just dead, huh? Like, we can go to 4 to play Breeding Pool to play Plow Under, and that doesn't do anything at all. We can Eternal Witness back Arbor Elf and play an Arbor Elf to chump and then die the turn after to Linvala. I mean, we can, like, we don't have to, we can just chump with the Manifest too if we want to, but I don't think we really have any draws that get us out of this. We sided out Vivian. Great. Well, tonight is apparently not my night for Vintage Cube. Boy, howdy. All right. Thanks for hanging out, Sanal. I would like to play first. Thank you. Yeah, this is a keep. The number of tap lands we have in our deck is a little bit awkward. All right. They mulligan to 7. Playing Lumbering Falls first here because we really want to get these elves out. Wow. It's a bold one for a white aggro deck. Oh boy. Are they going to be holding up the removal spell? We haven't seen that much removal from them overall. I mean, they did get us with it game 1. Oh no, this is a totally different deck. What am I saying? This is match 3. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Tree Speaker. We don't really, I mean, I guess Elves of Deep Shadow into Thief of Sanity would be pretty good also, but I have no fear. I haven't lost 2 matches to have fear. I'm not sure we really draw enough cards for this Sheldock Isle to be great. I feel like maybe we should have taken a different card instead of it. I hate to say it, but I think this card might be a little overrated. Like, it used to be one of those cards that was like a hidden gem in Cube, you know? Like, only the diehard Cube drafters really understood how good Sheldock Isle was. But I think a lot of that was kind of, oh wow, they're doing something fucked up. I think a lot of that was because, like, you know, Cube Draft games used to be, that's not how that works, I think. Is that how that works? Does this work that way? Holy shit, it does. Well, fuck. That's bad. Okay. That's a cool turn 2 Griselbrand. Draw 6 cards, have 5 mana available. Are they just going to storm me out here somehow? That would be amazing. I'm here for watching that. I mean, they don't need to. They can just attack me 3 times with this and I'll lose. But I will sacrifice Treespeaker. Anyway, yeah, like cube games used to be a lot grindier, a lot more about like playing for value. Like the sort of classic blue-white control cube match used to be a lot closer to what a lot of cube matches were, especially the ones that didn't involve aggro decks. Also, aggro decks, well, they're still not treated very well. But they're ending their turn. Okay. Well, no, it's less exciting than I thought. I'm still going to concede. What do I even do against that? I guess I sideboard for the games when they aren't going to do that quite so immediately. Actually, I kind of like Primal Command as a way of getting rid of like... No, that's terrible. They've got to have other reanimation spells. I'll get back to my thing about Sheldock Isle in a bit. Once I'm done sideboarding. Yeah, get out of here, Primal Hunter. Vivian is also an answer, I suppose. So like Sheldock Isle is great in these like kind of grindy mid-range matchups where, especially if you're playing a blue deck whose thing is like drawing cards and playing to your card advantage and playing like fact or fiction and stuff like that. But as cube games become more and more about, the permanence on the battlefield and about sort of doing things more quickly, I think Sheldock becomes worse because, like, even though it only takes, 7 turns and a few draw spells to activate it, sometimes you don't have 7 turns, or sometimes your draw spells just don't super come together. Like, this deck doesn't actually draw that many cards. So, yeah, I think I need to dial down my rating of that card a bit. I'm just going to play Oracle here. If they kill this, they kill this. We still get a land drop off of it. And then next turn we can Thief of Sanity, Hold Up Remand, if we feel like that's necessary. So it looks like they aren't just outright killing it, though. Ugh. I mean, not the best Time Walk I've ever seen, but... Their deck is something sweet. I'm sad that they went 0-2 with it. Just like I'm sad we went 0-2. They deserve all the victory in the world for what they're putting out. I have literally never seen someone enable a Necromancy with a Lion's Eye Diamond before. That is completely a novel cube play to me, and there aren't a ton of those. So color me impressed. I really genuinely thought it was not going to work. But who has read all of the text on the card Necromancy? Who knew that the only targeting was a triggered ability when it entered the battlefield? Not me. I would look it up, but again, my keyboard's broken. Still broken. I guess it's just dead now. I guess we need to buy a new keyboard. Oh, what a bummer. Anyone in chat know a good wireless keyboard? I can just sort of plug a dongle into my desktop and go. Anyone in chat, period? All right. I mean, I assume that what they're doing now is like, I assume they're playing some sort of like busted combo deck that can do what they did last game and can also do like a couple other like stormy, whatever broken nonsense. And assuming that that is true, probably what they're doing right now is planning like, oh, can we win this turn? Is it worth trying to win this turn, etc., etc. But certainly to us on the other side of the table, it just looks like they're sitting there doing nothing. All right. They're doing something. They're up to some bullshit. Yogg will cracking LED in response, I guess, for Necromancy Griselbrand. Okay, well, I mean, they were right to do this now because I certainly do have the remand up at this particular moment. Their deck is so bananas. I don't think this card is at all good. I don't think it is playable one bit. But I guess that's why they're in the O2 bracket, huh? So we're not completely fucked here, unlike last time, because we could just draw Vivian straight off the top and kill this Griselbrand. They still have drawn a lot of cards, but and probably use those cards to disrupt me to some extent. But we are not absolutely dead. And yeah, also I was right. They were figuring out like how much what the cost benefit analysis was of them going off this turn versus waiting another turn and potentially, having me do something scary, some undefined, terrifying thing that would disrupt their ability to go off. Which is a calculation I have made many times from the other side of the table. Also, it looks like we're going 0-3 again, which is really a feat for a deck this good. I blame it on that one Oko play. Oh, right, they have a Time Walk as well, huh? Boy, that's pretty bad for me. Pretty bad. And just the brainstorm for style points, really. No reason to do it otherwise. I hope they play Black Lotus, Dark Rituals, Tendrils of Agony right now. Just end this. Put me out of my misery. No? They're just going to take their third turn in a row, huh? Okay. That's fair for some extremely skewed definition of fair. Vampiric Tutor on their upkeep? What could this possibly be for? What more do you need to just, like, stomp me into the ground, Pity Pat 2? Oh, I'm dying to know, though. I mean, it's gotta just be, like, Counterspell, right? Well, that's odd. It taps them out of double blue. Okay. They're going for something else now. I hope someone is watching this at some point in the future, because I personally am on the edge of my seat. I mean, not literally. I'm sort of sitting the same way I normally do because I don't fuck up how I'm speaking into the mic, but what could this be? What could possibly be relevant here? Is this like a time spiral? They don't have double blue, so it's probably not that. Is it like Yawgmoth's Bargain? So they can draw the last 3 cards and go to 1? That would be truly stunting on me. Is it... I don't know. Like, if they hadn't tapped out of double blue, I could imagine it being another extra turn card. But I don't think they have the mana for it. I think in blue-black they can't really generate it. Okay, Time Twister, I guess so. That doesn't seem awesome here when, like... Are they genuinely trying to storm me out? Like, it seems, given that they don't really have a good understanding of what's in my deck, it seems just as likely that Time Twister, like, draws me into Force of Will or something, as that it wins them the game any more than they were already winning it after taking 3 turns in a row and resolving Griselbrand. The Empiric Tutor again going to 2? Oh my god. I mean, I know they're sort of at virtual, like, 9 here, because they do still have an attack with Griselbrand, but I genuinely don't understand what they're playing around. Like, they have to win this turn in order for this to be better than just, like, letting me stay with 3 cards in hand, right? Okay, well, now they get to see that my hand can't... Well, I guess, actually, Vivian Reed was the card I needed to draw there. So if they... Oh, and they actually can't take Vivian here. So, okay, it is Tendrils. They are actually Tendrilsing me out. All right, well, that was a sweet one to watch from the other side, I guess. All right, thank you all for tuning in. I think everyone's asleep now except for me, which probably gives me a hint about what I should be doing right now. But in case anyone's watching this video after the fact, thank you for watching as well.